Oh no, Jeremy's live. Sorry, Geoff is live.
That's fine. All right. So anyway, that's as we start the video with Senate style. That's fine. That's all good. So what's up, geeks and gamers? Welcome to the Rookie Critic YouTube channel. And today we are gathered here because tomorrow is Jeremy's birthday, but also International Women's Day and Captain Marvel. Now, which one we're celebrating? That's up to Angus because he's our Angus of color on the panel. And
got the whammons.
He's our diversity guy, you know. If we need diversity, we have to go to Angus.
The color goes before women. I'm sorry, Mary.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but that's okay. So today we're going to try to have some fun. Jeremy may or may not show up. He is currently driving with his family at the moment, so I don't really want to take him away from that. But regardless, we are going to try to have a good old time here. And we got a nice big old panel here. But before I introduce them, people in the chat as they roll on in, I don't know if we even have more than 10 people in. Try to guess how old Jeremy is, because I think some people would be surprised, and I don't even know the answer. So don't look
I
at
know
me.
the answer.
I know you.
It's a big one.
Yep.
I know the answer because of proper.
In my birthday video, I put 57. I don't know.
Really?
That's just to be.
He's not older than Sith.
Right. But so the game plan for today is I'm going to maybe rotate some people from the panel as we go today. This might go for an hour or two, depending on, how many people we get on here and how much fun we're having. We're going to shill some people's channels. We're going to talk about some pop culture, maybe play a few Geeks and Gamers style games, and answer some questions from the chat, and talk about, our history with Geeks and Gamers, maybe YouTube, whatever. Ruth, since this is your first time on a live stream up here, why don't you start?
Hi, I'm Ruthie. I have a fan page to Jeremy. It's JGG for life, and I'm one of his mods. Hi.
Yep, but one of the best mods, and I love it when EVS pronounces your name in the middle of his live stream. He says the whole Star Wars jiggle for life, Angus of color. You're up next.
Yeah, I am, the diversity hire for this channel. So, of course, I will be going nowhere unless I choose it. Much like Kiri Hart. So my job is safe. Hello.
Thank you, Angus. And General Katarn, report for duty.
This is General Katarn reporting in. I am a simple, humble general that is just doing some videos on YouTube. As of late, I had this fever, desert scorpion thing, just stung my foot. I know it sounds very exciting, but basically it's not, because all these zits popped on my face and I couldn't do Flipp's video, and I was pretty bummed out about it. I make lightsabers and YouTube videos regarding Star Wars, so yeah, that's me. You've probably heard of me. I'm the general.
Hell yeah, you do. We can probably talk about that in a little bit also. Proper Jeremy.
I wish I could roll my R's like that. What's up, everybody? This is Proper Jeremy. This is the beta version of Jeremy. You're welcome. General Katarn, I must ask you, when you were stung by the scorpion, were you rocked like a hurricane?
Yeah, I actually felt a wind of change going through me. So, yeah, I guess you could say.
Interesting.
All right, well, that's Proper Jeremy.
Nobody got the joke at all.
No,
I did. But scorpion.
I totally did. It was only, old school kids that got this joke. So, yeah, it can actually help us with Jeremy's age.
Yeah.
So, and then let's move on to Mary V, the stream queen of YouTube.
Well, hi, guys. I am Mary B, the bringer of mayhem, official whammon card holder, and disruptor of the narrative. And I'm thrilled to be here and with all you beautiful people, except, of course, for Angus, who is a person of color, and that makes me uncomfortable.
He's by default beautiful.
You're lucky the other half of those two bald guys isn't here.
Right. Oh, my lucky stars. Let's look at the chat. Anybody knows what that's referencing? I'm not saying the next line.
I don't get it.
That's okay. That's okay, Proper. So yeah, we got
hush up now.
We got Proper Anna in the chat here joining us. She is awesome. She kind of helped put together the birthday video along with Ruth and Stephanie B and Simone. She's the manager at Geeks and Gamers, right? Ruth?
She's the manager of the Facebook and the Instagram.
Okay.
What? I did
Makes
not know
sense.
that.
And then we got Jack Sparrow, the real Jack Sparrow, in the chat. Don't you take it another way. We got Thomas Kilkey. What is up, man? Says, great birthday video, rookie. And Proper Anna says, we are live. And Jack Sparrow says, about flipping time. Hey, I set it to 7:30 because I knew this was going to happen. So I was prepared for that. And we got a few other people rolling on in. Cybernetic Husky, what's up, buddy? And Tony Rankin, he says, Ruth, applause. And that is about it for now, and then just you guys. So,
Rookie,
yeah.
tell Jack I said R.
Jack Sparrow, he hails to thee. But yeah, so it is early ass in the morning. It is 7 a.m. my time. It is 9 a.m. Central and 10 a.m. Eastern. So everybody's probably just waking up as we just saw.
Discriminating against Mountain Time much?
They exist.
Yeah, you're discriminating against Central African time, which is about 5:20. We're already woke right here. We are so woke, you have no idea. You're just waking up.
Well, I'll just be sure to name all of the time zones in the planet, and we'll be here we'll take up half the show. That's fine.
No, I was making a joke, like, discriminating against Mountain Time, Jeremy.
Oh, I thought it was more like against dwarves or something.
Oh no.
Mountain dwarves is what I was thinking.
Yeah, no, I remember Angus laughed at that a lot for some reason.
Oh yeah,
he's an Angus of color. He laughs at everything.
Mm-hmm. And then he's not going to laugh there.
No,
Nice.
He loves diverse jokes, so yeah, it makes sense.
I like it. Did any of you guys retweet this out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No.
Oh.
Right now. I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, it is early morning. Is what it felt like.
People are going to crash, and you don't want a dead general. So yeah.
I'll do it. I'll take care of this right now, man. I'm on it.
All right. Sounds good. All right. So one of the main things that we're going to talk about, we have some games going on, but I think Ruth wanted to start by saying the first time that she ran into Geeks and Gamers. Go ahead, Ruth.
Oh, the first time was when I saw Jeremy's video on The Last Jedi, where he was really excited about the movie. And then I saw him, that was like in October. And then after that, the movie came out and it wasn't what he thought it was. And then I saw his reaction, him watching himself do the reaction to The Last Jedi, and that's when I clicked onto his channel. I thought that was hilarious. How he made fun of himself and he thought how embarrassed he felt. So I was like, oh, that's cool. I like that. Let me click on.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
In the chat, I love it. Tony says, I'm confused by Proper Jeremy. Is he like Jeremy's non-evil twin? Winky face. Don't get us mistaken. He is the evil twin.
Yeah.
He's more subtle about it. Just very subtle about
it. Jeremy is the beta prime.
He's the proper beta evil twin.
Yep, and the Exaggeration Nation's in the chat. He says, yeah, baby, rock the Jeremy party. Jack, sup, cuz. And then Mary's saying morning PA for Proper Anna, I assume.
Yes, she's
That's
my favorite.
Good. And Jack is backing me up on that, says Proper is very evil. And Thomas is saying, yeah, he liked The Last Jedi when he first saw it. Riot Kitty just rolled on in, says happy birthday to Jeremy. It may be confusing. His birthday's tomorrow. I'm just doing it today because he's on a trip tomorrow and thought that he'd be more free today, but he's also on that trip today. So, whoops. But that is all good. And I'm going to turn the camera off, though, because I don't want to have to just stare at the camera this whole time.
That's not creepy at all. Oh, hey, Jesse. Sorry.
That actually happens to me too, because when I voted, if my subscribers wanted to see me with my face from my camera, they basically said, "Take your ugly mug, stuff it in a clone trooper helmet, and just don't do that again."
I like that mentality.
Yeah, it's okay. Look, clone trooper helmets look much cooler than my face, so yeah, it makes sense.
That's true. True that. But all right. So, like with Jeremy Geeks and Gamers, I pretty much didn't hear about him until the High Council. Like I was following World Class, and then EVS was on his show one time, and then I was like, okay, that's all right. It's pretty cool. And they did their first High Council, and I was like, okay, I'll check out Jeremy, sure. And then I didn't really like some of his videos, but then there were some funny ones that were coming in here and there, and his live streams were always the funniest. But then at some point, yeah, started to catch on a little more, and then I was on his 24-hour live stream with Sith Kryptonian for about more than half of it. I mean, felt like 15 hours or so, and that was freaking awesome. And then he was on the Senate recently as well. And yeah, that's my experience with Jeremy.
Dude, you're a beast. I don't even know how you do
Who's
it.
next?
I would say proper Jeremy, but he is busy in the bathroom at the moment. So how about Jay at those two bald guys?
I don't really have that exciting of a story, I guess. I kind of found out about him probably right after the turn of the year when all the Last Jedi stuff was going down in January, and then found everybody else from there. And so, yeah, I've been a big fan ever since. I don't really have that exciting of a story, but that's how it happened for me.
Right. Now, you said you were like more with Odin first, right?
Well, I knew about Geeks and Gamers first. I found Odin through probably a link on Geeks and Gamers. You'd also like these videos kind of thing. And when we went to launch our channel, I just happened to send him a hello and here's who we are. And then 2 days later or a day later or something like that happened to be when he was on Geeks and Gamers, and Jeremy made the announcement that he was going to start contributing to Geeks and Gamers. And so I just remember thinking, I'm really glad it went that way, because a day or two later, if I said hi, it may have looked like I was just trying to latch onto him or something. So we started talking like right before that happened. So it all kind of was about the same time, the Geeks and Gamers Odin stuff. But so I know Odin a lot better, but definitely a big Jeremy fan, and have been for, well over a year now.
All right, awesome. Yeah, when's Des going to be able to come on, man? Yeah, he said he's got a much busier schedule. But yeah, you are not just the bald. You're not the 2 bald guys. There are 2 bald guys in the group.
Yeah, his schedule is just a lot tighter than mine. I'm a lot more flexible because I have I run my business from home and stuff, so my time's a lot more flexible because I'm at home a lot. So that's the only reason. He definitely wants to. So we're working on that, and plus we're trying to work on our own live show pretty soon here. So he'll obviously be on that every time. But yeah, I'm hoping to get him more active. He wants to. He definitely wants to.
Well, that's good. That's good, man. And then Angus, why don't you tell us when you first met Saint Germanus?
Let me think.
That name's great, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah. I think I saw him in the. I've been a bullshitter since November 17 with their spoiler video for episode 8, and I was just like, this can't be, And I was following them. I'd watch like all their videos, backtrack their catalog and stuff, eventually. And then I saw something recommended, and it was like some beef between him and like Star Wars Explained, I guess. And I'm like, okay. So then, and then he got associated with the High Council, and so like, I loved bullshitters and EVS, and then he just felt like tertiary, kind of saying the same crap, but plain and simple. And so like he was more content, but I didn't feel he was really adding anything. So it took me a long time to ever actually sub him, but clicked one and I was like, okay, he's earned my sub. He's kind of found his niche, in my opinion, that was not there before, in my view. And I've really been enjoying his whole monetize SJW's campaign. So I try to live up to that standard with all my content. Unfortunately, that one video I made, Rookie knows, didn't get to stay on YouTube for me to monetize their tiers.
They're suppressing them. Angus is a color, man.
Yeah, but no, I've been enjoying these gamers for a while. It's just something didn't click for months and months to sub him, but it finally didn't. I'm enjoying it, and I can't wait to see where he goes.
Yeah, man, he's going places. So now that we got some more people in the chat, why don't you come up with some of the Jeremy memes? There's at least I have at least like 5 on the top of my head. In the chat, write down Jeremy memes that have spawned since he's been ridiculous on there, whether they're good memes or bad ones. The first one that comes to mind is "Smash that melee button."
If you don't mind.
Is there a reason why we call it the melee button, or is that a Jeremy invention?
Melee is like when you're playing on a game on a console and you smash A or B is usually to,
okay,
melee.
So that's the reference. I was thinking that's what it was, but I wanted to double check. Okay.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. General Cortarn, report for duty on whence you came across Geeks and Gamers.
Well, when I first came across Geeks and Gamers, it actually wasn't a video, but I remember I was checking a lot of Last Jedi controversial videos, because when I came out of the theater at the time, I thought to myself that, hey, I disliked this, I disagreed with this, and I can't be the only one. And it's as if it was the will of the algorithm of YouTube and the Force, in a way, that said, okay, you need to check out Geeks and Gamers. At first, I was like, yeah, it wasn't my recommendations, but I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have to check some other channels on that first. And then Geeks and Gamers popped up again, and then again, and then again. I'm like, all right, I'm going to check the Geeks and Gamers video. And then I heard Jeremy. And then I was like, okay, this guy speaks to me, because basically he was always all out. He never minced his words. I mean, I saw a lot of people that disagreed with The Last Jedi, but they were kind of, trying to make themselves a little more delicate when they were giving their critiques. When I first heard, Jeremy's opinion on it, I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to hear. I want someone to say it, to put the money where his mouth is and speak very honestly about, The Last Jedi, because I knew it was crap, and this guy didn't hold back. And then I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to subscribe. And then I believe I speak for all of us. When we see all of the content that he makes, it's not that we're basically like a cult group that agrees with everything that Jeremy says. I mean, like, if Alita Battle Angel was good and he decided that it was bad, I would have said, okay, yeah, I disagree with Jeremy. And Jesse Milestone had a disagreement with Jeremy, and they're closer together than what I am compared to him, for example. And that's perfectly normal. I am subscribed to the Dishonored Wolf, and he said that Aquaman was bad, for example, and Jeremy loves Aquaman. And there are two channels that I respect that disagree with each other, and that's perfectly fine. So he isn't sucking up to anyone, and that's why I like Jeremy a lot, and he says things the way they are. And that's one of the main reasons I subscribed, and I do not regret it for a minute. Every time a notification comes from him, whenever I'm shaving, put a lot of Jeremy videos, because it takes some time for me to shave and groom myself. And that's the best way to start my day when I'm about to go to work. And yeah, Jeremy ever since spoke to me, and I was very, very supportive of him. And we've had a few interactions, very small interactions, but it means a lot to me because I'm a small-time fan. And there's a lot of people that admire him the same I do. So, yeah, Jeremy is awesome. That's all I have to say. Sorry for my rant, but, yeah, he deserves it.
No, it's all good, General. You're just good and fine right here.
Yeah,
and
well said.
Yep. Like that. And before we get to proper Jeremy, proper Anna in the chat says, thanks for hosting and editing. Also, thanks to Ruthie for her work. Stephanie for all the support that she does. Also, Saban. Yeah, is this Simone or Saban?
Yeah, Saban.
Oh, oops. I said Simone earlier. Saban for working hard behind the scenes as our spy. And Stephanie B is in the chat saying, hello, well done. It's great. At Dawn has arrived and joined us. Proper Jeremy. When the heck did you come across Geeks and Gamers and Jeremy?
About January. Kind of the same thing as Guitarn, except that was one of the first videos I clicked and I stuck with it. And to say that I became a fan afterwards is a little bit of an understatement, as my profile picture would display.
Oh, you're a fan of Geeks and Gamers? What?
Yeah.
I couldn't
You
tell.
sexist, how could you? Don't you respect women or something?
No, I respect women, not women.
No, you have to respect women, or otherwise you won't be popular. Just try
women, yes. Women, no. There's a difference.
I'm going to drown you in 200 gallons of soy. I swear to God.
I already bathe in
I'm
it every morning. I have my soy lattes at
oh my
breakfast.
god.
Derailed.
Anyways, speaking of derailment, yeah, Jeremy, he, for some reason, I just gravitated towards the channel, and I really liked it once he started doing live streams. I specifically remember really getting into that in May when when Cobra Kai came out, and we're just like, yes, us fans, if you will, we're so mad at Star Wars when we saw something that was good, that was somewhat of a reboot sequel. We praised it for its great storytelling over anything else, and we're like, Star Wars can take notes. And I just got into it ever since, and the whole Proper Jeremy thing started, and yada yada yada. Now there's like 250 of us. Yay!
Yep, and you have the whole council assemble every
Yes.
other weekend, basically.
Yeah, well, once a month so far, and we're gonna do that on Sunday. If that's cool with everybody. Yeah, the time of the month is gonna come early, but I want to talk about Captain Marvel is why.
I gotcha. Before we move on, Proper Anna says, Proper Jeremy, do you remember my original name and how I got my current name?
Do I remember your original name? It was Proper Anna, also known as Clone Anna.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was like Clone Anna, and then I was just like, you have to choose between the two.
Ancient times.
It was Proper Anna. Yeah, that's ancient Twitter. But yeah.
Yep, and then Mary, your turn.
Okay, so I do have a favorite sort of memory of him, at least in terms of like what made me decide this was the person that I was like in it or like in it to win it to follow. And that was when I first started seeing his videos. I subbed right away, unlike you guys who ain't loyal. You hoes ain't loyal. And I just realized that he was putting into words what it was that I felt about The Last Jedi. And he had some people in the comments that I had no qualms about getting in there into the comments with everyone. And that was what was epic to me, was that when I would get into sort of these back and forth with people in the comments about what he was saying and sort of just trying to defend him, he would get in there too. And he was just really active, and it was very impressive to me. And we had a little back and forth via email because of it. And he was just so accessible. And I thought, man, this guy, he gets it. And I'm completely down with this. So he felt like he understood. It felt like he understood and could put into words the sort of grief that I felt about The Last Jedi. And I realized that he sort of had the balls, if you will, to get it out there and to say it. And I felt happy to be a part of it. And I
guess that's what makes Jeremy what he is. He's interacted with all of us. Sorry for interrupting, but he interacted with every single one of us, I believe. I think that's true for every one of us. Every one of us have had an interaction in the past.
Yeah, I would say he was always really accessible. Yeah, like Katarn said, he was always really easy to kind of feel like you could actually have a dialogue with the guy, and he knew how you felt. He was on the same page, and he never had problems about voicing it.
$50. Oh, sorry about that.
So yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, that is awesome. So I was going to have us. I'm going to turn your volume down a little bit, Katarn, for a sec. A little feedback over there. All right. Angus of Color, is there something you wanted to bring to our attention today with the patriarchy or something?
No, not at the moment.
This is early morning, everybody in the chat, so we are all still waking up ourselves.
Yeah, I
trying to put it together. Yeah, we're all just waking up. It is just about 7:45 in the Pacific and almost 10 in the Central and almost 11 in the East. It's called it in the Central. All right. So I thought this would be kind of fun. So instead of doing a Jeremy-centric thing, to take a break from him, if we talked about strong female characters in other films that we all know, that we all like or something, or movies that have them, or we could talk about movies that are very popular that you don't really like.
Dude, you'd know all about them strong female characters. You had an epic stream, a couple of streams about it last night.
Hell yeah, we did. Kill Bill, for example.
Oh, I love them. So yeah, no, dude, like, okay, so Beatrice Kiddo, for those of us who are on the same page proper, is the heroine of Kill Bill. Yeah, I'm just taking jabs at you, homie. She's the heroine of Kill Bill, right? And she is the perfect example of a strong female character through and through. She's feminine. No one has stripped her femininity away from her. She's badass. She's well fleshed out. She knows what she wants and how to get it, and she worked hard to get there. That is the epitome of a strong character. And her femaleness, as it were, is an aspect of it, of course. But it's not what they focus on. It's part of her character. They don't ignore it. They know who she is. They know what she's about. Her femininity has something to do with it, but it's not the driving force. You're not forced to accept her just because she's a female. She is amazing. She is compelling. She is fantastic. You're invested. Like, even Proper, for all of his shortcomings, recognized right away this was something to be hooked on, because it didn't matter that she was a female. She was just epic. And she was such a bad, like, even when it's like her wiggling her big toe, right? Wiggle your big toe. All you can think was, oh, I hope she wiggles it. I really hope she wiggles her toe. Like, because you were invested in this chick from get-go. She felt very human. She felt very real. But she never had any qualms about getting in there and kicking butt. That's a strong female character. Oh my God, I love those movies.
I love it when you get on a tirade with the strong female whammons. Since we haven't heard from Ruth in a little bit, do you have any favorite characters in film or whatnot, strong females?
Yeah, my favorite character is Wonder Woman. I think when you have a female character, she should be feminine at the same time. And that's what I like about Wonder Woman, because she was also very humane. Like, in the beginning, she's strong, but at the same time, for me, when I look at a female character, I want her to relate to me. I am feminine, and I do think that women in movies should always bring that to a character, show our sensitive side, but at the same time, we are strong, we are powerful, but we also want to earn our power in how we perform. Like, in general, like, if I'm working for something hard, towards something, I want to be able to prove myself that I am working towards it. And I can relate to her because she did have her training and she did have that femininity to show that she was a strong character, but she's still a lady. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, especially when half the time they try to pretend that women don't have boobs or anything anymore too. It's
but women, that's our body, and men are attracted to that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, we are independent, we are strong, and we can prove ourselves. But when you have characters like Rey, who doesn't prove herself, who doesn't really connect with her goals, like, how did she become a Jedi? That to me is disrespectful, because as a woman, I think we have to earn our way to where we want to be. And when we have characters that don't represent that, it's not relatable at all. It's kind of disrespectful as a female when you don't have characters that represent us the way we want to be. And Wonder Woman, to me, did that. She showed her feminine side, but at the same time, she kicked ass. And just saying, for me, that's what I see when I think of a female character. I want that representation, the challenge of earning your way to being who you want to be. And that's what she represented for me. Sorry, this is my first live chat.
Hell yeah, no, that's fine. People in chat are giving you an applause.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, you're a complete natural, girl.
Yeah, you did a lot better than I did on my first stream, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. We don't have to go over that.
Thanks.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that, but
okay. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. Jay, at those two bald guys, strong female characters that are not Captain Marvel or Rey or nothing. Yeah.
As if I would pick Captain Marvel. Probably Ripley from Alien. I've always liked that character. Starts out as a victim being chased in a horror movie, basically, and then by the end, everybody's centering around her. Everybody's trying to clone her, whether it's Wayland Yutani's after her for their reasons, or they need expertise on the aliens because she's had it. They go to her. So she starts as, just running away screaming in a horror movie, and then she ends up being the #1 champ of the whole franchise. So I've always liked her character. Plus, I just really like Sigourney Weaver and what she brings to that role. So that's who I would pick, yeah.
I still need to see Alien.
That's right.
Are you serious?
Be my next movie I watch, or Pulp Fiction?
Yes. I will watch it with you.
In the chat, should I watch the Alien series first, or Pulp Fiction? Because I've yet to see either of these.
Pulp Fiction.
Alien.
Probably Pulp Fiction first.
And we'll see what the chat says in a bit with that. But oh, geez.
But I do have a affiliation. Whatever, not affiliation.
Affiliation. More, Jeremy? You want to elaborate?
I like Alien a lot. It was my first R-rated movie. 10 minutes in, I was like, no. 7 years old, scarred me for life.
Ruthie's Purple Fiction.
Purple Fiction? Ruthie, is your phone drunk again?
Yes.
Purple Fiction.
No, she's at McDonald's and she saw Grimace.
Oh, what?
People don't know that reference, Angus.
What?
How are you
talking about?
Grimace?
We know what Grimace is.
Grimace?
She said
Grimace, like the purple thing from McDonald's?
From McDonald's, yeah.
Don't be McDonald's.
Derail.
I remember there were like McDonald's cartoons or something.
There was like 10 or 20 mascots for McDonald's back in the day.
Yeah, and they all disappeared.
I seriously need like a big stamp that says derailed that I can just derailed every time this happens.
Well, thank you for having us stick on topic.
Anyway, so I'll go back to the chat real quick. Proper Anna said, what? When I said I haven't seen Alien, I assume. And then Mary says Alien for a vote. And Stephanie says, say what? Get on that. At Dawn says both. Proper Anna says Alien. Jesse says Pulp Fiction. Stephanie says Pulp Fiction. Star Wars for Life says Purple Fiction. Tony says Alien. Open-minded Movie Man says, I'd say Alien. And then Jesse changed his mind and says, damn it, Pulp Fiction. And then Mazaris says, the chat says, stop looking in here.
Stop looking in here.
That's funny. The Proper Anna puts out in the chat, she just points out to Ruth, purple. And Scott, an open-minded movie man, says, however, since Pulp Fiction is the only movie, I'd say watch it first.
Yeah,
there's only one movie, watch that first. And that is on Netflix, so I could technically watch that even after the stream if I wanted to, as to where I'd have to get my hands on Alien. But yeah, and then Thomas says Pulp Fiction. Proper Anna says Purple Rain. Thomas says Samuel I. Jackson, or I think it's supposed to be an L, but it looks like an I for me. I don't have glasses on, by the way, which I feel like I'm proper Jeremy when I am reading these. Then
what? What are you talking about?
Proper Jeremy says Royale the cheese.
Royale with cheese, yes.
Okay. I don't get it.
It's a reference. You'll get it.
I don't get it.
At least that part was not ruined for you.
Derailed.
It's not derailed. We're talking about the movie.
Thomas says Ruthie is incredible on the live stream. Good job, Ruth. Okay.
Okay then.
Hi, I'm back. Sorry. What?
I was saying Thomas just gave you a compliment, and Stephanie were saying that you're doing good on the stream.
Oh, okay. Thanks. I'm eating tacos, so sorry.
Okay, I don't want to interrupt.
It's under 8 a.m. Where did you get tacos?
I'm in TJ, Mexico.
Oh, you're in Tijuana?
Yeah, Tijuana, Chulawana. That's what we call it.
Seriously? How is it there? I want to visit.
Oh, I'm sure you'll have fun here.
Speaking of diversity, Angus.
Somebody order diversity?
Yes. Let's get that menu going.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many strong women. We got Mary and Ruth in the chat, along with proper Jeremy. He's a real bitch.
Yes, he
Stop
is.
misgendering me. Said he.
No, honestly, it's I mean, as a kid, I guess I'd probably pick Padme. I think she's really underrated as a character because I think she's actually way better than Leia as like a character story, not portrayal, but as actual character, she's so much better. Because Leia starts out hot and then she kind of just downgrades into like Han Solo's side piece, and so the way it ends, you expect like, oh yeah, she's just gonna be like his girlfriend or wife, happily ever after,
And
the
she's
war's
not
done.
that way.
You don't really see Leia, even though she's royalty or whatever. Like Alderaa's gone, of course. She might be part of the government, but you never really think of her that way. I don't think the way the original 6, and as opposed to Padme, is dealing with the Senate and possibly becoming a separatist by the end of her story while being pregnant and stuff. Like she assumes equal role of being like a future mom and a wife in hiding while being a key prominent figure in the Senate her whole time in the series. And also I know proper Jeremy will agree. I think Willie from Temple of Doom exudes so much strength. Who would be able to scream that much for 2 hours through a movie? I don't know.
I know.
A lot of stamina.
That is real
So
strength.
brave.
So brave. That's all good. Yeah, I agree. Padme was pretty badass in the prequels. Big time. And everybody likes to crap on them as much as possible, but now they got some style.
Yeah.
They got some strong whammons. And all right.
Prequels were awesome.
Yeah, she was. And yeah, they were.
The fighting, with the sabers, you can't have them. Not even in the originals. I'm sorry, the prequels killed it with the saber fights.
Yeah, they did.
And now we don't even have one good one.
I know, right? God.
Not even Kylo, which I'm so sad to say, but yeah.
Oh yeah, we know that. That's really tough on you to say that.
What if he?
Yeah, it breaks
what if
my
he
heart.
cries in the next one? He's going to cry. There's going to be a crying scene. I just know.
Then crying equals deep.
Hey, I do gotta say though. When I saw Force Awakens, I was really focused on like, all right, how's the music going to come out? Because I read the spoilers. I knew the whole plot. Wanted to go see it, and I'm like, all right, so I want to focus on like how they develop it, how it's portrayed, how the music is for the delivery. And so when we got to the fight, music underwhelmed me, but there's little details to that fight that actually I was like, this is cool. Like I would like to see an actual really good choreographed fight, but there's hints of like, when like trees are getting cut by Kylo and shit, and they're like missing each other. It's like, oh shit, like we've never saw Star Wars really show you, just like make you kind of like on the edge of your seat, like, oh god, I would not want to get cut with that, so there's that, and it felt brutal. It felt like the fact that they like totally skimmed over that with Luke versus Kylo, it's sad because I think they could have had something really cool there, but instead they had him dodge it like the Matrix. It looked awful.
God, that was so stupid.
I agree about that Force Awakens duel, though, because if you take it out of context, don't worry about what's going on in the story. If you look at just the fight itself, I thought it was awesome, and I liked it better than anything in the prequels, even though I do like the saber battles in the prequels, but they just seem so choreographed to me, and so I was waiting for something more raw and emotional, and that's what we got in Force Awakens during that duel. It's just unfortunate that the story didn't quite match the fight, but yeah, I definitely agree. It was brutal, and I wanted that in Star Wars again. It was good to see it.
Yeah, I kind of want a mix of good choreography and that raw feeling, because I liked the choreography in the prequels because it's like shows that they're master swordsmen. But yeah, I know what you mean. How you feel a little more in the with that impact in the Force Awakens, I suppose. I guess the sound effects were more intense also. Like when they go, it's not it's so like kind of like this a little more.
Really good, you're right.
Kind of feel it. I'm gonna address the chat real quick, and then I'll get to General Katarn. Open-minded movie man says Ruthie seems to be a natural and confident despite her nervousness.
Woohoo!
And
Thanks.
everybody in the chat's hungry for tacos, thanks to Ruth eating tacos on the screen.
Kicker.
I want some tacos. Tacos. Homework channel. Jeremy says no. Stay away from TJ. I don't know. I don't know what TJ is.
Tijuana.
That's Tijuana.
Oh, Tijuana. Okay.
Oh, I thought you said PJ. Oh, I was like, what did I do?
No, well, of course, stay away from PJ. That's always.
Yeah, proper Jeremy.
But keep him close because he's also pretty cute. But Don says, and definitely better than my first one. Says that Don from Open Minded Movie Man, and he says, yeah, now he thinks of a voodoo song. I don't know what they're talking about. What's that?
You know what? I have an idea for another topic of conversation that I think would be quite interesting. Let's talk about our first time on stream.
Okay,
what was that like?
We'll get to that in a minute. Because Riot Kitty has joined us again in the chat saying she likes burritos better. And then we got Geeks and Gamers in here. He says, sorry, I can't make it, everyone. As always, I appreciate your support. And that is just fine. Hey, Sean, just joined us. Hey. What's up, man?
Yeah. What's going on, man?
Going good. How early is it for you?
It's 9:55.
Lucky bastard. Are you Mountain Time?
No, I'm Central.
Okay, I was about to say I totally excluded all Mountain Time people at the beginning.
You're not in Kansas anymore, Sean.
Yeah,
Hello,
I guess
Sean.
not.
Is Kansas Mountain Time?
No. Kansas and Missouri are Central.
Boo.
Showback Hallmark channel. Jeremy says a Hallmark moment and no invite. I see how you are. Yeah, sorry.
Hallmark moment.
Sorry, buddy.
Hallmark. We'll invite you for the Shape of Water stream. I know you're so down to be on that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yep, and yeah, right. Katie says happy early birthday to Geeks and Gamers since he's in the chat and everybody's noticing that. Mary says thanks for popping, Jeremy. Says thanks for popping in, Jeremy. Prime Geek Collectors says hello. And yep, Geeks and Gamers says prequel love, basically. Says that with a heart. Appreciating that, Angus. And going down. Cybernetic Husky says, I got to watch the Clone Wars again. Do you guys watch the Clone Wars show?
Oh,
yes.
Not all of it, no.
No, it's, I
couldn't.
Who hasn't watched? I'm the hugest advocate of the Clone Wars.
I haven't seen it at all.
How long does it take to get used to it?
Dude, you're missing out on so much if you're not watching the Clone Wars. Like, what do you do? Ahsoka is in there. Ahsoka! Have you lost your mind?
Are you talking about the movie or the TV series?
The TV series.
Oh, okay, because I didn't like the movie at all.
No one liked the movie. No one liked the movie.
Oh, really? So the movie's not necessary to watch then?
Nah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
No, it's more about it's like Jabba the Hutt, a soy war story. That's kind of what it is, right?
Did you watch
Doesn't it revolve around Jabba the Hutt?
It revolves around his kidnapped
Trying
child.
to be dumb on purpose.
Well, since when did the Jedi care about Jabba the Hutt?
They don't.
Never.
He's in like one episode.
Yeah, like what's
briefly
the point of that?
Briefly in it.
Yeah.
For nothing. It doesn't help anything, but it doesn't hurt anything either.
Yeah, it's not
Picking
Well,
one
it's
scene
nice
out of
for,
one episode of one, out of a whole show. That's so stupid.
It's not even that big of a deal.
What a
No, the
dumbass.
series itself is absolutely epic, and Ahsoka's like storyline and her character arc is absolutely beautiful to behold. You are screwing yourself if you're not going to go see. If you're not going to watch it, it's on Netflix.
See, I will admit there are some episodes that are very skippable, but there's a lot of episodes that are like, okay, this enhances it big time. A lot of stuff for Obi-Wan and Anakin. So I don't know. You judge it just on the fact that Jabba's in there. You're selling it short, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, yeah. I always liked the idea, even though Lucas couldn't build on it because he had time constraints. I always liked the idea of like, what would it mean if he had like a clone army, and like that would make them second. Like I always thought that was a good argument against cloning, even though he doesn't really portray it that much in the Clone Wars.
I guess the best arc for me had to be with Top and Fives when Top killed General Tiplar, and they basically went to Camino and they had to examine the whole tumor thing. And basically Fives
he was a clone trooper that basically knew everything, but he was too insignificant for people to give him importance, and his voice was shunned out. And this is basically how we feel today as a collective, as Star Wars fans. We know SJWs are trying to take over, and I actually give them too much credit because they're not as awesome as Palpatine. It takes more brains to be Palpatine than an SJW, but basically, this has to be my most favorite and relatable arc. I believe we've all gone through a phase where we were fives in a state, you know?
Yeah, I like the one where they got like the reject one, and he ends up like before he like has his like clone moment to save.
Yeah, I'm a soldier just like you. When he said that, I cried basically because, you know, Angus, just like yourself and me, we were both military men, and we've seen people being rejected because they didn't have what it took, and sometimes it can be heartfelt because they could be the best people, but they're not physically capable or suitable for.
You're kind of roboting out a little bit, General.
It's probably the separatists interfering.
I'm
It
speaking
definitely
the
isn't
truth.
the SJWs because they're not even smart enough
I'm
for
speaking
comeback.
get up. I'm telling.
No, Qatar, no.
Derailed.
We'll get back to him in a sec. FP Stoney says, Griggs and Gamers. And Stephanie B says, oh, Princess Bride. I don't know what she's referring to, but Princess Bride was a cool-ass movie, that's for sure. And Riot Kitty says, prequels are decent, but the fights are what stole the show.
Wait, what's Princess Bride?
Oh, she was just referencing a
Are you joking, Proper?
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
You've never seen Princess Bride?
I've never seen Princess Bride either.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
wow.
actually haven't.
Well, I couldn't tell if you were joking.
It's okay.
Rookie
I thought it
hasn't
was
seen
a
Alien.
chick flick or something, so I was like, nah, fam. But
The reason
Well,
she said
it
it
kind
was
of is.
because I had mentioned to Prime was talking about going to battle with an NPC or something like that. And I was like, oh, we'll have fun storming the castle. And she recognized the reference. That's all.
oh, I thought that was just a term of phrase or something. I don't know.
I
Yeah.
think
Oh,
the best
no.
part of Princess Bride
Storming
is
the castle. Because Shrek storms the castle and rescues Princess Fiona. So, I mean,
Yeah, but
I don't
that was
know.
kind of a reference. That was kind of a Princess Bride thing first, though.
Yeah.
well,
True.
storming the castle is just a phrase. So,
Look,
I don't
right,
know.
proper Jeremy.
I don't get it.
Okay,
It was just Princess Bride. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a very quotable moment from that film. That's all.
So Prime Geek Collector says, happy birthday, Jeremy. I'm Jeremy Simmons in the other account. And Cybernetic Husky has an image of tacos. Again, he's hungry, I assume. Thanks, Ruth. Getting the chat all hungry.
Dude,
for
I'm
breakfast.
getting hungry too.
You're welcome.
I'm going to make nachos after this. I have stuff to make nachos. So I'm definitely doing that.
Why
there's
wasn't this
chili,
chat
bro.
catered?
What was that?
Why wasn't this chat catered?
I don't know, man. I didn't think
Damn
about all
straight.
this. I didn't consider
You
it
think
all.
about catering? Oh, you jerk.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, Geoff TheIronWolf just popped in a little bit ago. Says, hello, guys. I'm trying not to be too behind. I'm like 7 minutes behind the chat at the moment. That's better than being half an hour. I've done that before. And then Open Minded Movie Man says, yeah, Revenge of the Sith. The best laser fight sequences. I liked Darth Maul sequence as well. This is laser fight sequences. I hope he's not referring to laser sword.
Laser.
No.
Oh my god. Scott, what is wrong with you?
I have a question.
Yeah,
Do
go
you
ahead,
guys
Ruth.
think that Darth Maul should have his own movie?
No.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I
Actually, I wouldn't be opposed to that.
No.
No, I'm
feel
good.
like, I feel like the
I
Sith
think
from this
that,
fan
his
film.
background is really interesting.
Yeah, no, but he kind of had a great story in the Clone Wars. If you'd watched it proper, he had a fantastic story in the Clone Wars. We kind of already got, I think, what we needed in terms of more Maul, and so it was fantastic. And I don't really need a movie.
Yeah, but
Well,
how long
honestly-
until Disney actually goes to the Clone Wars for their source material?
They have plenty of material to draw from, and they seem to have no qualm about taking the EU and distorting it. So,
Well,
I
that's
mean,
true.
True.
so-
I think Ray Parker right now is at the point that he wants one on Instagram, but I
Yeah.
think if it's live, it's different when it's a cartoon. But for me, seeing it live and seeing him in action, I think I would like to see a movie of his backstory and seeing his growth, because it's very interesting when I go online and look at all the Darth Maul clips. I think it would be better than a solo story.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
I
anything better
Well,
than that.
sure, but you kind of already have a lot of that stuff for him. Like, honestly, if you go watch Clone Wars, I know I sound like I'm pushing this, but like we already have all of this stuff for Darth Maul. Like, it's already in canon, in existence. It's right there. We have a fantastic story for him. It picks up. We know essentially everything that happened to him from right after he was sort of cut in two from Obi-Wan and then moving forward. So I think. I don't know that it would be the worst thing in the world ever to get a Darth Maul movie, but I kind of feel like it would be solely for the fan service and it would just be patched together, and it would sort of feel like Solo to me in terms of it's not
but
necessary.
doesn't Lucasfilm really have to do a lot of fan service right now?
Well, yeah, but it's not necessary, and so I'm not sure what they
Well, it depends. Sorry to interject, but I believe that it depends. You see, when they got Darth Maul in Solo, it was clearly fan service because of fan service's sake. But when they brought him back in the Clone Wars, they were looking for a very interesting antagonist that didn't get a chance to shine. And I believe that if they wanted to combine both, they should bring Captain Phasma back in Episode 9, for example, or 8. But that's late. And she could have, kicked some ass or something like that. But they're not going to go with that. They're not going to dignify the EU or basically any of the characters that are already dead because it's too much work for Disney right now. Too much work.
I just bring it up because my nieces, when they do watch these cartoons and stuff, they're the ones who mention, "Oh, I would love to see a movie of Darth Maul." That's the only reason I bring it up, because that's what I see them interested in as kids, because we have they have that story, but for them to see that live, I mean, for them being little kids, that's really interested to them. That's the reason I think that would be interesting to see a backstory, because they don't really know the original Star Wars as we know it, and they just bring it up all the time that they would like to see a movie of Darth Maul, because when I was a kid and I watched the prequels, that was who I wanted to interact with, was Darth Maul.
Yeah, I think a movie they could make to satisfy all of us dark side fans, because I have over 30 Darth Mauls in my house. I'm a huge fan. You could do the Night Mother, and you can go anywhere with her. You can include Savage. You can include Asajj. You can include Darth Maul and more, and all the Night Sisters. If you just did like a cool Night Mother Dathomir movie, like you could go into a new aspect of the Force with like the Force witches and whatnot, and
that sounds great.
Shit. That would be awesome, and you can just like devote yourself to like this whole dark side planet story, and maybe have like Sith on Sith battle as opposed to having to do like the Jedi Sith thing. You could have like different aspects or flavors of the dark side as an argument.
Well, there was a lot of times where we were rooting for Asajj Ventress. That could totally see that.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I feel like the Sith Apprentice fan film did a pretty good job too, considering he doesn't say one line in that whole thing, and that was 20 minutes. That was pretty good.
Ricky, I know I was going to say too, because Ray Park's like what is he, like 45? I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he gets too old, you know what you can do, if you still want action. He's already done the voice work, and he's done 2 video games. You could get Sam Witwer to actually take up the physical role of Darth Maul and kind of fulfill playing Starkiller through Darth Maul.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose I'd rather have newer stories take place in Star Wars rather than just keep on playing with the same characters only, but only in a good way, of course. Like, I don't like the way they've done it so far. Just here it is, and that's what you're doing, and they're no.
It just depends on the type of grasp that Disney has going forward. I mean, if they don't have a good handle on Star Wars as a whole, I would rather them kind of lean back on the stuff that Lucas already laid the groundwork for and not create their own characters.
See, I would agree, but I feel like they'll just ruin them more.
Well, that could be, yeah.
the more they have to play with it, the more chance they have to break it. Yeah, in a way, that's how I see it too.
I would rather have you can have some familiar characters, but maybe have them be side characters. I don't know, just be a part of the journey that the new characters are going about, I guess.
All right, before we go on real quick, does anybody in the chat, are you guys good to be on for a little bit longer, or do any of you have to get your day started?
I'm all yours. Whatever you need.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good for
Yeah,
now.
I got a good hour in me, but that's about it.
Okay, what about you, Jay?
Yeah, I'm good for now.
Okay, cool. Just checking. We got Entertainment Hacker in the chat. It says, geez, how many people can go live at once? Got the whole gang here. Entertainment Hacker, by the way, just finally got his streaming abilities back, so now he can live stream, which is good. I might see about getting him in here if he's free, but he's probably at work. Or he's in Japan, so I have no idea if it's nighttime now or not. Or
it's like
tomorrow.
around like 11 or 12
Night
for him.
Yeah.
Yes, probably not. Yeah, right. Kitty says Ahsoka is the best animated Star Wars girl. Yeah,
Yes.
probably. That's what I'd say. Geoff TheIronWolf wants to join us in a little bit. I'll send him one in just a little bit. Yeah, now I'm behind in the chat. I'd say like a good 10 minutes behind now. He says Prime Geek Collector says, TCW didn't feel like a 3-year war. No, the Clone Wars. That's what he's saying. My cat's on my table, by the way. So if you hear an annoying meowing, that's the cat. My cat, Chikorita, nicknamed Chica. And Nicholas Glenn says, hey, how's it going? Hey, what's up, dude? And he says, nice happy birthday video to Geeks and Gamers. Just watched it. Yeah, I have 40 people sent in happy birthday clips to me to put together for the compilation. So thanks, guys.
Nice.
That's good. I think everybody in the panel here sent one as well. So thanks, guys. Abu Nah says, okay, family got to get going, working in Supreme Court today. Love y'all. Have fun. I was going to read that in a rap, but that didn't really work out very well. He's always busting out the raps and rhymes. Shut up, Chica. I don't know if you guys can hear that.
And guys, Albert Knott is a fantastic women respecter.
Yeah, he is. Here, I gotta let my cat outside. She's gonna be really annoying. She jumps onto my DVD case and stands on my Xbox and then just sits there and goes meow, meow. So I'll be right back. So
wait,
you guys,
who are you leaving in charge? Who are you leaving in charge?
Yep.
That sounds less annoying than proper Jeremy.
Because it's the Geeks and Gamers one. Ruth, you can pick a topic.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Let's talk about what everyone's talking about. Captain
Whammon?
Call her?
Captain Whammon.
Captain Whammon, yeah. I'm actually gonna go see the movie.
Please don't pay for it.
Yeah, don't pay for it, girl.
I was invited, and I'm gonna I'm gonna pay a lot of attention, and I will be giving my viewpoint on Twitter. But
awesome.
I just don't like the whole situation with her and hating white men. I love white men. I love 40-year-old white men. I think they're I think everyone who grew up in that era has the right to like Star Wars, and I don't think she should be singling out anybody. Like, who is she to be singling out anybody, you know? And as far as for the movie, she shouldn't be giving her opinion like that because she's really causing a lot of damage, in my opinion. But I will give the movie a chance. I am going to separate her from the character and see how it goes. That's just my opinion.
I was trying to do that. It's just been so difficult lately because I can usually separate art from artist. I don't like a lot of stuff Tom Cruise has done in the last 20 years, but I still go see his movies. But she's just, I don't want to be scolded. And plus, the movie just doesn't look that good to me anyway, honestly.
There's a point where they make it impossible to separate the movie from the artist.
Yeah.
She has literally gone out of her way to say, this movie isn't for white males. She has made sure that we can't separate her from the movie, her politics from the movie. She's done this to herself, and she deserves every bit of boycotting that she gets. So, I mean, like, I'm all for, like, in terms of, like, Kelly Marie Tran and Rose Tico or whatever, and you sort of try to separate the artist from the art itself. I think that's important. You should do that unless, of course, the artist makes that impossible, and that is what she's done here. So she deserves it.
Yeah, and then the director too. You got one of the directors now saying the same thing. So it's not, even if you wanted to go, oh, it's just her, it's nobody else. No, now you got half the directing team saying the exact same stuff. So it's not just her. So it's hard to ignore. Yeah, agreed.
Well, also, you know, as a white guy, you know, I have to ask, you know, if you go into the theater, you know, how many white guys around the world are going to feel like all eyes are on them, you know?
A quick interjection. Angus and I have an advantage over all of you. I'm a Mediterranean Caucasian guy, and he's an Angus of color, so we basically can't slip into the movie theater and watch the movie.
Yeah. Well, apparently I've been called Asian, so maybe.
I'm
All
Mexican.
you need to do is
we,
some
we,
lotion, some solder flux
Are
to
you
make
really,
it look
Ruth?
more.
Huh?
speaking of that, we have Drunk 3PO. We completely funded his venture to go see Captain Marvel on our behalf as a likeness. And I'm so excited to hear his feedback. And he has to wear a Captain Marvel shirt a size too small.
Yeah, that's the best part. That's the best part right there.
And possibly,
You're too nice, Angus.
Pixar
possibly
didn't happen.
Exaggeration Nation possibly may wear a MAGA hat accompanying him to the movie.
Oh my.
Is it going to be the Black Panther
Oh.
helmet that you spray painted?
Oh, it's not
No.
painted, but yeah, I am doing that video.
Are you really spray painting MAGA on a Black Panther helmet?
I am because I'm for diversity of opinion. So
Now you see what Angus is going for. Be serious for a sec. Angus is the kind of guy that goes for intellectual diversity instead of skin diversity, which is more deep than the epiphenal part of skin. So basically, a black person from Namibia here, for example, that hasn't gotten a proper education could actually decide to enlighten themselves and basically rise to the ranks of academics that most median European countries have. And I'm getting technical, but basically what it says, white people think that they have the privilege, and because they have the privilege, they can actually get access to knowledge, and they can actually be more uneducated than people of other skins and colors that basically are supposedly underprivileged, but actually have the will and the hunger to get more educated. And basically it all comes down to education. And that's where it is.
Yeah, and if you just so happen to be on the side of like you want to preach social justice and you're well educated, that's fine. Just don't be a douche about it.
No, you see, that's the difference. They don't have a choice. They have to be douches because they have selective information and they choose to pander to the statistics and the information that they have.
You're painting a broad brush, like too much of a broad brush. There are people who do believe in certain aspects of those things that you would call soy, but they just, but I mean, they are, intelligent people that you can have conversations with. Those are called liberal,
Dude, there's some people that have passed soy and are actually homosexuals. If that's what you're talking about, that's the next stage of soy. Well, you see, someone that is a soy boy is bordering. That's what they're making fun of. Soy boy is someone that they make fun of that is supposed to be masculine but has feminine qualities. A homosexual doesn't have any problems showing that, and they are very comfortable in their own skin. And I do have some homosexual friends that were not basically bothered by this, and they said that it has nothing to do with sexual preference. It had nothing to do with sexual color. It has to do with education, and it has to do with what you have learned. So it doesn't mean that a straight white male knows more than a homosexual because of sexual preference. I've seen many white guys that are very uneducated, and I've seen homosexuals that actually astound me. And they're scholars and they're educational people, and they basically teach stuff at school, but their sexual preference has nothing to do with what they do in their jobs.
I'm very okay. Now I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah,
but I think we're all in the same boat when it comes to that. But when it comes to like I was surprised, the first time when I saw a gay guy change a tire, because before then I only
Exactly.
Yeah,
You see,
it broke. It's not. No, it's not.
You see, that's the difference between an SJW and a normal person. An SJW can be a straight guy, a wham and respecter that cannot change a tire because he is soy in mind. But there can be a guy that prefers men that is more, biologically
masculine.
Female. It can be more masculine than a soy straight white guy. So it basically goes down to education again. SJWism is not a dogma; it is education. Or to be, more accurate in this case, it is in education. Because when you're an SJW, you have a opinion that is not yours, and you just basically perpetuate it because you heard something that to your ears sounds right. Other people spend time to educate themselves, and basically. That's what I meant. Go ahead, Angus.
Yeah, proper. I was going to say, what really inspired the MAGA helmet was I was sitting here and I was thinking, we got a lot of racial divide right now. What would unify everyone more? And, it's like Black Panther did well. got Oscar nominated, but it's like, well, if you put Mag on there, I think everyone can buy in.
Interesting theory.
That's one route.
That's all I'll say.
All right. Well,
Yeah, it is quite interesting. But what I was just one thing I wanted to clarify earlier was that, you know, of all these years of you know, seeing the stereotype of a gay guy as, you know, this uber feminine, you know, guy who likes to wear you know, all those bright colors and fly rainbows and, you know, talk like this, you know, kind of like a valley chick, you know, that kind of broke a stereotype for me. And, you know, it's offensive to me, you know, as somebody who is, you know, bi, you know, just like, why are all the men, you know, portrayed like, you know, women? Like, yeah, that you have Neil Patrick Harris, who acts like the straightest guy in the world in How I Met Your Mother, you know?
Yeah,
I'm just talking about breaking the stereotype, that's all.
It's not about a stereotype.
Changing a tire.
Rookie really breaks the stereotype.
That's a problem. That's the SJWs that they have a problem. Like Ethan Van Sciver says all the time, SJWs are trying to categorize us into these subcategories of people based on our skin color, our sexual preference, and our religion. And that is the most racist thing that, you know, has ever happened, ever. And SJWs advocate that they're against racism and sexism and whatnot. So yes, a gay guy can be more masculine than a straight macho guy because he can change a tire, and a straight guy cannot. These are a few criteria that you can use in everyday life, and you can judge who is more of a masculine person. So basically, if he can change a tire, if he's masculine at work, if he does his job perfectly, or basically whatever he does, he's a professional, he's kind, he is whatever he is, and he can actually basically do things that a stereotypical heterosexual male should be capable of doing, and he's better at that than a stereotypical heterosexual male. Yeah, that makes him, to me, more masculine, despite him going to bed and saying, you know what, I'm going to ride that guy. You know, I could have used a spicier word, but, you know, I'm trying to be child-friendly here, but basically he could be like, yeah, I'm going to do all of these masculine things, but at the end of the day, I want a guy. And that is okay. That is sexual preference. I'm all for it. I have gay guys that if you actually see what they do in their everyday lives, if they didn't tell you, you wouldn't recognize. Okay, some people, yeah, you can actually see them coming from a mile away. But it doesn't have anything to do with sexuality. It has to do with the mind. It has to do with the person, how they were taught. And if they're willing to continue doing what they're taught.
Can I say something?
Go ahead, please.
Of course.
Here where I grew up, that's not a big deal. I think it depends where you live in the United States. I really didn't know a lot about the social warrior. I mean the SJW until I actually started watching Geeks and Gamers, and I can see the frustration when it comes to Jeremy and when they talk about white people and being able to give their opinions on their own race. I'm Mexican, I'm white. I don't go by that. But when a Mexican person says something, it's okay. If a black person says something, it's okay. But when a white person defends themselves or their own race, they get a lot of backlash because of the history in the United States. But I don't think that people should be being so negative towards people who are white who want to express how they feel about their own race. I think people should be accepting to that too, because if I can accept anyone else's race because they are a minority, they shouldn't single anybody out. Where I grew up, it's not like that in San Diego, believe it or not. Like if you're gay, it's not a big deal. I grew up even in the 2000s and the late 90s. I had friends out in front just being themselves. It's not a big deal. But I don't know, like in Middle America or in other parts, I see that it is a big deal. And I think
they've made it a big deal, and not just in America. They were made everywhere else. And you know why I call this hypocrisy? Sorry to interject, but I grew up in Greece. I grew up in Greece in 2001 when I went there. I'm, my dad is Greek and my mom is part Greek as well. So basically, you could say, he's a all 100% rounded Greek. But I was born in South Africa, and until 2001, I was born in 1991, which means when I was 10 years of age, I went to Greece. So a 10-year-old kid has a different mentality when you take him to another place of the world. And what I saw in Greece at the time, back then, they were very racist towards other people that were born in other countries, despite me being biologically Greek and on paper Greek. But they were like, this guy's African and, get out of our country and stuff. And 20 years later, these same people have become the SJWs that we're actually making fun of. And they're like, diversity and, these illegal immigrants, no, we should treat them with respect and all this stuff. And what has gone with illegal immigrants in the United States has been going on for years in Greece, and no one said a thing about it. And I don't want to sound racist, but basically a racist behavior is something that happens to everybody, no matter when they deny it. So, there was this guy that used to make fun of me in middle school for being born in Africa, not being African, not being black-skinned, but being born there, despite me being Greek of descent. And he said that, you were African and all that stuff. And then 20 years later, he comes to me and he said, we should protect all of these immigrants and all that stuff. And I said, how's that so? And he said, they have rights too. Okay, I said, you're a hypocrite because I reminded him of middle school. And he said, no, that is a different situation. Okay, how is this a different situation? Because I know that everyone inherently with some conservative values have a, not racist behavior, but they basically have a behavior where they actually hold back a little bit. Now, when you know that there's a nation coming from the Middle East that has racist behaviors because of their culture, and they attack all of the middle countries like Greece, like Sweden, like Turkey, like Italy, and they say, it's in my culture to actually abuse and treat women badly. And they say, it's in their culture, we have to defend that. And I said, what happens if your sister, and I knew this guy specifically had a sister, said that, I'm coming home with this guy from the Middle East, and this is his culture, so I have to get beaten down to death every day. They said, no, I wouldn't accept that. So I said, you're a hypocrite because you can actually accept certain values as long as it doesn't insult you personally as a person. So you're not democratic. You are a hypocrite. And that's basically what SJWs are. As long as their narrative cannot be turned against them, it's okay. So yeah, the white man is a fallout guy for everything. But if you remember, the white guy in the 14th, 15th, and 16th century dealt ships and explored the world. What were the rest of the nations doing? And I'm not 100% white. Okay, I have descent from maybe Asia. I don't know, because if you see me, I'm not traditionally, white. And I understand history. I've read history. I've educated myself on a lot of things. And you see these people, the white people from Spain and Portugal and Germany and France, that were sending ships all over the world, and they were just taking shit from rich countries like Africa and South America. No one protested then, and suddenly after like 200 or 400 years, they're like, white guys are bad.
Yeah.
Well, you see, I have to deal with that in my own family, because if I am a Trump supporter, I'm not ashamed to say that. I get a lot of hatred because in my own family, I do have illegals. I have people. I'm in Tijuana. I mean, this is where everything was happening. And it is frustrating because the more I got into Geeks and Gamers and learned about SJWs and learning how all of that works, that was a new experience for me, and changing my opinions about the government and learning. I learned a lot from Geeks and Gamers, and also Uncle Ethan, all of you guys, learning about SJWs, because I didn't grow up with that. But now that I see
none of us did, Ruthie.
good viewpoints, it is hard within my family. They do get upset that I change my opinions being liberal to being more conservative, because it just makes more sense to me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm learning as I'm introduced into all this. I know it's Star Wars, but I'm also learning about what, in my opinion, what I think is right. It's just, I've changed a lot of how I think when it comes to the government, and learning more about the government. I really wasn't all into that. That's why I'm just saying that I think everyone everyone should be equal. We shouldn't stereotype minorities in any movies or anything. It should all be the same, in my opinion. I'm sure there's other groups, but I'm just taking a different view of it now than I did before.
group, I believe that you're over the age of 15 or maybe 20 years old, and I believe that the rest of the panel is at the same time. And we've grown up with comedians like Chris Rock, Richard Pryor, and all of these guys, and they were making a lot of stereotypical jokes that at the time seemed funny, and today, in the age of SJWism, it seems to be insensitive, and that is wrong, because the point of a stereotype is to make fun of ourselves, to look into ourselves and make fun of ourselves. For example, if someone sees me and says, you're a Greek, so you like feta and olives, and ha ha ha, and they make fun of me for my dietary choices. And if they see a Mexican, they'll be like, you like tequila and wearing sombreros or something like that. And it may be offensive at first, but basically that's what we're known for. I'm known for the Parthenon, and they're going to make fun of it. And I said, hey, you're free advertising my country. I mean, why is there a problem? The English, they're made fun of because they have actually tea at 5 and 10 o'clock in the morning, and then 5 in the afternoon, and they like their teas and their scones and everything like that, and they're very proper and all that stuff and whatnot. So we make fun of them as well. You make fun of the Americans because you're America and all that shit, and basically, we laugh at that too. We make fun of genders. We make fun of a lot of Indians, this is Jay from Little Computers, how can I help you? And it sounds funny, but basically stereotyping is a form of comedy that people have grown insensitive to because, it's easier to get offended than to laugh. So, stereotyping is
it's kind of like an equal opportunity offender, what used to be The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, we can't.
How is a generation that grew up on The Simpsons, on Futurama, on Family Guy, on South Park, so easily offended by everything? It blows my mind. We were trained. We were taught to be cynical.
College professors.
Thank you very, very much. I got failed by liberal college professors, by the way, and I had to wait for them to actually get out of office for me to actually pass the class. But college professors is the best definitive answer for these things, and they're the ones that perpetuate youngsters into giving them this ideal when they become adults after they've studied, and they get them this mentality of being offended and
I didn't go to college. I grew up. I didn't go to college, and I used to watch Def Comedy Jam, and they used to make fun of everybody. And now with Kevin Hart, they're taking it to the point where it's an extreme. But like you said, I'm not in my 20s. I'm in my 30s, and I can go back to that time when Def Comedy Jam, everybody was making fun of everybody, and it wasn't a big deal. Now you can't say anything about nobody because everything's offensive, and that's where I think it's wrong. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, it's to the point to where you can't even make a comment about your own race without getting backlash in the main media. Now here where I grew up, it don't matter. It doesn't care. It's not a big deal. But when I see it in the media, it's a huge deal. And then now with social media being so big, it's just taken over everything, in my opinion, and it's ridiculous. That's why
You're not wrong. You're not wrong
I'm
about
more
that.
into it.
Things have gone out of hand. It's a given right now.
Yep, pretty much. But that was a very good conversation with it. Very well done, guys.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's good. That was pretty good. Got a lot out there with it. But let's change it up a little bit. This is
sure thing.
That's all good. A little bit ago,
Let's make it more
a little bit ago, I asked in the chat everybody to name a popular loved film that you don't like, and right away, Cybernetic Husky says Hunger Games. Yeah, I never watched Hunger Games. It looked a little too boring, in my opinion. Do you guys like Hunger Games?
No,
never seen them.
Never. Ever.
Sounds accurate. Prime Geek Collectors or Jeremy Simmons says Twilight.
Oh, nice.
Did everybody love Twilight?
No. I did.
No,
I
actually,
there's a certain demographic. I'm sure you loved it. Sure, yeah.
The Whammon did.
I didn't hate it, but I didn't care for it either.
Yeah.
You see, it wasn't wrong. It was like kind of silly, but it was harmlessly silly. It was, just like a chick flick that didn't harm anyone. It didn't have any SJW messages then. A popular film that I disliked. You are not going to believe this, but a popular film that I disliked was Catwoman. And in Greece, Catwoman was a huge thing. And I'm talking about Halle Berry's Catwoman.
Really?
It was huge. Yes, you have no idea. Girls be dressing like Catwoman, Halle Berry's Catwoman in Halloween, and I'd be like, yeah, if you want to dress like Catwoman, look up Eartha Kitt and Michelle Pfeiffer. And she's like, I'm wearing a Catwoman costume. How can you deny me? I'm like, if you watch the movie, you'd understand.
Wow.
Yeah.
That movie was horrible.
That movie was horrible. In this country, it was loved to bits. And I'm like, if you girls find this as sexy, then yeah, okay, I can see us all becoming monks or hermits or something.
Yep. Demaj and I was agreeing with Proper Anna. She said, Wonder Twin powers activate. Oh, she's talking about with him. I was like, what? I never grew up in Wonder Twins.
Yeah, you're definitely young if you don't know what that is.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess I know what it is, but I never watched it, so I don't really know. But and then Cybernetic Husky says, The Godfather.
Oh, come on!
Oh, I love The
Jesus.
Godfather.
No,
That's another one
I'm very sorry.
I can't judge yet.
That movie's amazing. The sequel.
Bad Husky. Bad Husky.
Yeah, wow.
Bad.
That's incredible.
And what was it? I was going to read what Hallmark Channel Jeremy says, but I have no idea what that says. Or he says, I'm edumacated.
Yeah.
In all caps.
Edumacated.
Like
diverse.
With it. Yeah, Star Wars for Life is saying, Proper Anna, I wasn't cookies. Proper Anna, I wasn't cookies.
I want cookies.
It says I wasn't.
It's my phone, not me.
Yep, the phone's drunk. Okay.
Yeah.
The Real Comic Stacks joined us a little bit ago. What's up? He says, what the hell did I just walk into? Makes sense. And then we got Sylvia Luca in here. I've not seen her around. What is up? Brand new one. And then, Star Wars Twice says no cookies. And yes, cookies. A cookie conversation in the chat, it seems. And then the Ancient One says, wow, I zonked out for hours and just got back. Oh, yeah, because he was joined us on our last stream last night on Kill Bill. And Prime Geek Collector says, Uber has feminine drivers? Damn. Yep. Jack Sparrow says, I've met straight dudes that talked with lisps and feminine tendencies. It's more individual tendencies than sexual preferences. Prime Geek Collector says, Stoy Boys. And it's okay to be white. Hashtag it's okay to be white ?
It feels good. It feels good. I feel really reassured right now.
Yeah. All right. I'm just scrolling down the chat a little bit because I'm a little bit behind on it. And Proper Anna says, great job, guys. I need to bounce. Thanks to y'all for making this happen. Yep, no problem.
See you, Anna.
I'm glad I got a big panel. When Jeremy said he couldn't come on, I was like, okay, so do I have people to come on now? I was still expecting people to be asleep for the most part. And what was that? Black Angus says, we need to get Drunk 3PO a pussy hat for Captain Marvel. Thanks for shilling for Drunk 3PO. He donates, just so everybody knows, Drunk 3PO does donate to charity. So you'd be helping out whatever charity by getting him that pussy hat.
It's for an orphanage in El Salvador. We did the Captain Marvel challenge to get a straight white male to see the movie on our behalf, and all the overage went to this charity. So we got 170, which was almost 20% of the final push for phase 1 of the building. So yeah,
and we thank you for that, Angus, because if it wasn't for that, I don't think I'd be able to walk into a theater.
Yeah, I'm doing it big time. That's good. So yeah, I'm just about caught up with the chat finally. That is good. Just some conversation going back and forth. Riot Kitty is back. The Prime Geek Collector says, "Oh my God, go watch Godfather." That's further down on my list. I'm not in a rush with that one.
You should. Rookie, trust me. If you actually see The Godfather, it's life changing. At least for the most people that I've known that we've discussed this, it is life changing. It basically. Yeah, it's one of the manliest movie I've ever seen since, A-Team or The Expendables. But
yeah, I didn't care for it.
It's okay.
It's okay, Mary. I don't expect you to. It's okay.
We're not going to disagree.
Because I'm a woman.
We're not going to
right?
disagree with
the woman.
Mary, you didn't like The Godfather?
It's just not my style of movie.
Oh,
I agree. It was life changing, though. I didn't see it till about 10 years ago, and wow, it blew my mind, especially the first and second one together. But I don't know if it did that to me on the first viewing. I can't remember. I may have had to watch it a couple times.
Same thing happened to me when I watched it the third or fourth time. I was, 2013, how long? Yeah, I was about 22 years old. And looking back now, 27, you're like, yeah, that was like 5 years ago. or wait, 6 years ago. That doesn't make any difference, but yeah, it does, because I was a dumb kid at 22, and when I watched The Godfather, I was like, yeah, that's not how life works. Just calm down, tone it down, be smart, listen to what people have to say. And yeah, Godfather has a lot of messages that you guys can apply in real life. It doesn't mean that you have to shoot people or basically get revenge or make them sleep with the fishes. But basically, it has more of a message than that. You can basically apply it in real life. And if Jay can understand, he will know that he basically has seen The Godfather. So you will know and basically back me up on this argument that The Godfather is more than violence. It has more of a philosophy to it than violence.
I agree. I think they're both masterpieces, really. But I think what I'm saying, really, Mary, is you should give it another shot when you're in the right mood, because I don't think one time can do it, honestly.
You need to be willing to accept to watch this movie. I mean, like, if you're going to watch it and say, let's get this over with, you're not going to appreciate this. I mean, this is something that you do with Green Lantern or Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I'm pretty much watching every classic film like I need to get this over with, to be honest, anyway. So, but I mean, I like Jaws and Kill Bill, so that's a good start, I suppose.
Casino's good.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah,
it is.
Casino's long as fuck, though.
Yeah, but it's very entertaining. And Goodfellas is good.
Oh yeah,
yeah, definitely. I've never seen a human being swear as much as Joe Pesci. I swear to God.
Joe Pesci.
Yeah, pretty sure it's Pesci.
Joe Pesci. It's like Joe the fish.
Don't feel bad. I can't say strawberry. I can't. Strawberry. I try. And I've always been teased. People are like, say, what kind of fruit do you want to eat? And I'm like, I know what you want me to say. Say it. Okay, strawberry. I can't say it. My arse.
You know the Christmas Story or whatever at the very end where they go to get like Chinese turkey or whatever, the duck, and they're like, rah, 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 rah,
Love it.
I love that movie.
I love when they chop the head off and she's just laughing.
I've been trying to think of what my movie would be, and you guys just reminded me. I don't like that movie. No, I'm aware of that. Would be one. Everybody loves it. I don't get it.
Yeah, I feel like that.
I wouldn't have thought about it. So you brought it up.
Growing up with it helps. Otherwise, I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. That's why Godfather was exceptional. I wasn't born in the 70s or the 80s. I saw it in 2013, which was like almost 30 years ago. And it worked for me. Sorry about that.
Yep. Yeah, I almost forgot. Since I brought Sean in here, he didn't have a chance to introduce his channel at all. So you want to talk about your channel for a little bit?
Please.
I already did that with everybody else. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. My channel deals with pop culture and superheroes. You can check it out. It's youtube.com/Sean Stackhouse Reacts.
Yeah, hell yeah. Actually, you haven't watched a video yet, but I do have you subbed, and I will start watching some at some point. There's so many YouTubers now that I follow, small and big, that like I just pick a day. I pick a day to binge everybody.
Yes.
Or like if I'm at work, if I have a chance, like when there's no customers, I'll put on a YouTube video from somebody, but I can't really watch it, so I'm just listening and don't really comment. But it's there's so many creators now.
We're all in similar boats.
It's kind of hard. If they post every day, there's no chance.
Dude, it's getting ridiculous. Like the first thing I'll have to do now whenever I wake up in the morning or afternoon, as is my case, I'll take like a couple of hours and I'll just start going through everybody's videos. And if you post after I've finished watching everybody's videos, I'm not seeing you till the next day. Period. That's all there is to it. I have stuff to do later. Like, love your face. I'll click it tomorrow.
That's understandable.
Makes sense. And
we're probably all in the same boat.
And Jay, I think we started to talk about your channel, but I don't think we ever really did.
Yeah, you skipped me, but I wasn't gonna say anything because that's not my style. It's like whatever, we moved on, but I appreciate that.
Yeah, you can plug it now, or you can say where your channel is now.
All right, cool. I'm Jay, one of those two bald guys. We have a bi-weekly show called On the Couch where we just have fun talking movies, etc. And we post every other Thursday. Our newest episode's coming out today, actually. We're going to look over Infinity War. So,
cool.
Yeah, you can find us on YouTube, Twitter, and at those2baldguys.com.
That's a perfect segue, because Bring Back the Good Old Days of YouTube says, do you think Avengers Endgame will be the movie to finally surpass Avatar, or do you think Captain Marvel will hold them back?
Yeah, it depends on how they use Captain Marvel.
I can hear somebody chewing into the microphone. That's really annoying. If you're chewing, can you mute your phone or something? Because that is
Sorry.
I don't like hearing it.
I'm sorry.
Who was it? Sith who came in on that stream, the Jaws 2 watch party. Sith came in and he's just like eating popcorn right in Rookie's ear.
I can't deal with that because it sounds like somebody's like behind me breathing and going.
I am so sorry. The phone was like far away. Sorry.
What are you watching, Rookie? Are you busy? What are you up to?
Who's doing the breathing?
Guys, this is getting me really horny.
Oh God, then I'll stop right now. Sorry.
Just gonna stop right now for
Was
it.
that Mary doing all that breathing?
That was me, yeah.
It didn't even sound like you. That is
Proper,
Okay,
keep your
good.
bobs and vagines to yourself.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh, that's so funny.
Sorry about that.
No
That's
worries.
all good. That's all good. Yeah, Peter Griffin in the chat's like nom 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 nom. Choo choo choo. And Jack Sparrow's like, everybody eat now. Craziness. Yeah, that's what we do. That's how we do it.
Hey, Rookie, when
Yeah.
you see Peter Griffin in the chat, do you actually like hear Peter talking to yourself? Like,
I hear PETA talking to me. Yes.
Eat that. I kind of want to go get the crunchiest cereal I can find now.
It's
Sorry, Ricky. I was eating churros.
That's okay. That's okay. It's the morning. I didn't eat breakfast yet either. I'm gonna have nachos for breakfast.
If y'all need me, I'll be at Rookie's house eating nachos.
Hell yeah! I home make them. So hell yeah.
By home make, do you mean just take some shredded cheese and pour them over some chips and throw them in the microwave? Because that's what I do. I'll admit it.
I have actual meat that I put on the stove,
wow, all right.
and then I put them on the chips, and then I microwave. Well, I microwave the chips first, though, and then I put shredded Colby Jack cheese over it that I shred from the cube, and then boom, put it over.
I'm hungry now.
It melts
Right.
over the cheese.
So still lazy,
I'm so
but
hungry.
just not more fancy than what I do. Just it's still lazy.
When I first started doing homemade nachos, I bought like the actual nacho cheese flavored stuff, and my God, that was disgusting. Oh
Yeah.
my God. So I'm like, I'm just gonna grate my own cheese and then put that over it, and then it just melts itself.
Yeah,
So.
get some milk, whisk it up. Oh,
Yeah, I don't even grate anymore. I'm too lazy. I just buy the shredded and just pour it on there. There you go. I'm done.
Yeah.
No effort.
What's
whatsoever.
cheese?
And I'm making everybody hungry. I'll change the subject.
right.
No, I agree with Jay. It's like, why? They make shredded cheese. Why are you doing the extra work? We're in America.
I mean, there's a difference. There's a difference in taste quality sometimes.
There is. I admit it, but my laziness supersedes that. So
Right.
Yeah, see, I like good taste because I'm picky as hell. Like that's one thing I can relate with Jeremy with. He says, I just want a burger and of Coke or something. I'm like, that's exactly me. I actually have a couple of videos where I try cookies for the first time and a banana. And the banana one was the first real nasty thing.
Wow, you're pickier than I am, man. Because I always got made fun of because I was so picky growing up. Because I still just do like a hamburger with ketchup, and that's it. I'll throw fries in there, maybe. But
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah.
I do that too. But I could have it with onions, but I don't want it with onions. Like,
Ooh,
or with
onions.
I love bacon and I love burgers, but I hate bacon on my burgers. Like,
oh wow, yeah, you like
Oh, I
bacon.
love bacon
Wow.
and burgers.
I don't mix my pig with my cow, and it doesn't go with the same. It's a breakfast food and a dinner food. I don't mix them.
What
Dude,
is wrong with
go
you?
to Canada or somewhere else.
I
Get
just-
out of my country.
I
Do you
need
put
to know.
jalapenos on your nachos?
I haven't tried jalapeno actually, so
Oh
I
my
don't know.
God.
Yeah,
I
I
eat
wouldn't
them
do
just
it
raw.
either.
But
Rookie,
I
need to
tried.
know.
I tried.
Ooh, I love the jalapenos with nachos, and I can just eat a jalapeno raw. It doesn't really do nothing to me.
Wow.
I have
Yeah.
to have spicy and everything. I don't know why. I just do.
Well, I can't even do nachos like at a restaurant because I usually put refried beans. I cannot stand refried beans, so I don't eat like anything with refried beans. So, yeah.
I don't eat
Ricky, honestly,
either.
you might
Try
be more
putting.
picky than I am.
Have you guys ever tried chorizo? Like take chorizo. Cook
Oh,
it,
chorizo,
throw it
yeah.
in with the beans inside, then put the cheese inside there. Let it all melt together, and then put that on your nachos with regular nacho cheese and jalapeno sauce. It's the best thing ever. It's just you'll really like jalapenos after trying that. But if you put chorizo, cook it, and then put regular beans out of a can, and then you put the hot peppers inside and let them all and the cheese and let it all melt. Whatever kind of cheese you want, It's the best thing ever. And then you put that with the chips and just dip it. It's really good.
Okay, so before we all have our stomach growl,
Yeah, Ryan says we need to stop.
And our mouths water with anticipation for some delicious food today. With that great description, let's change it up. So, because it is International Women's Day tomorrow, and it is also the release of Captain Marvel. Because we haven't gotten
Rookie. Since you're sorry about that interjecting, I just checking the local site on my, a Greek review site, which is more rotten than Rotten Tomatoes. This is basically fermented tomatoes, and basically. They are so shilling over this. I swear, when I go back to my country next week, I'm going to slap the shit out of them. I'm going to be like, we invented democracy. We created the 300s. Get hold of yourselves. But basically, today is the Greek-wide premiere of Captain Marvel. And I swear to God, if they actually shill over this, I am going to go with all of my general-like fury with my army, and I'm going to completely eat them alive.
Get that army ready then, I'd say.
The 723rd is getting ready, because if they still about this, I'm going to eat them alive. I'm actually going to physically eat them.
Well, it's going to happen, man. I'd be shocked if it doesn't.
Right. Kitty in the chat says exactly 6 months from now, tomorrow, we should celebrate International Men's Day.
I'm down. I'll make them all sandwiches. I'm going to make you all sandwiches. It's going to be great.
Guys, every day's Men's Day. Come on.
For me, it is. No, just kidding.
There you go.
No, it should actually be.
Could make if there was International Men's Day.
It's actually Toxic Masculinity Day. We have to be fair.
That's what would happen. Yeah, for sure. That's what we get.
And
I wake up and I'm like, it's Men's Day. Let's go get me one. No, just kidding.
I like that attitude.
Technically, it starts tomorrow because they just undercut what Women's Day is, so it starts tomorrow.
Oh well, she's not happy unless.
I don't know.
What do we get? Do we get anything for it?
No, it's just them basically shilling to us. Oh, you're women. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you for being God's gift to Earth.
Here's a trophy and medal. There you go.
Right. And of course, Captain Marvel's not happy unless she's just taking something that A, is stupid to begin with, and B, is a ridiculous thing for anyone to even point out, but then makes it all about herself. I really feel like she has the biggest ego ever. This woman is insane.
Yeah, she comes across as a narcissist.
So we'll all be able to get our chance to talk about how dumb she is. So because this is a different panel than some people might have seen. I don't know if everybody's gotten their chance to express it. So Sean, since you came on here last, why don't you start with or one, are you going to go see Captain Marvel? 2, what do you think of it so far?
I might see Captain Marvel in the future. I had tickets and for opening night tonight, and I canceled them because Brie Larson was shooting off her mouth. And I was gonna go see it because it's a Marvel film, And even though the trailers did not inspire me at all, I just wanted to see it because it was a continuation of the story, but. If you mix the boring trailers with Brie Larson's attitude, it just cancels it for me. And I'm really, really not interested in it. Especially last night I saw SE Reviews spoiler video, and there are some things in there that I definitely would not want to pay to see.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. My brother, as soon as the tickets were available, he's like, order them now, ASAP. I'm like, oh, you don't know, man. He doesn't know about how dumb she is. He doesn't know about how stupid and unnecessary this film is.
Oh, Emperor Palpatine would like to say something about that. Tell your brother that he will pay for his lack of vision.
Yes, if only, big time. But yeah, with the spoilers from it, I mean, I kind of want to watch people's videos just for reassurance. I don't need to see it anyway. Because I don't know, it's just not worth it. But those two bald guys, Jay, your turn.
I'm heavily anti-spoiler. Like, I don't even watch trailers anymore usually. And so I wanted to see it originally just because I wanted to see the story and all that. But now I'm at a point where I honestly don't care. I just want to know what happens so it doesn't ruin Endgame for me. That's what I care about now. And I don't really quite understand the people that want to see Captain Marvel. They realize what's going on. They don't like it, but they still want to see it because they want to understand what's going on in Endgame. That's what I see a lot. Mm-hmm. And I just keep thinking to myself, I don't know what's going to be in this film other than maybe post-credit that's going to really have anything to do with now I can't understand Endgame. If you saw Infinity War, I think you're going to get it. And then that's where the spoilers come in. It's like, all right, I don't usually like spoilers, but for this movie, I just don't care. So I'm looking forward to just hearing kind of what I need to know about Endgame. I'm expecting it to be very little. And then I want to go into Endgame and hopefully she doesn't ruin it. Because I think people even being on the fence about Endgame now, that's just not where anybody wants to be. That's just, it's just not a good place. And so as long as these guys get the proper send-off and the story they've been building up actually comes to fruition, I don't care if Captain Maybell comes in and is part of the team, whatever. But I'm never going to like it if they sacrifice what they've been building to have her come in one punch. And I think we're probably all in that boat. So that's, that's pretty, everybody's kind of thinking that. But as far as if I want to see it, not really. If I do, it'll be for free in a couple months. I really just don't care. That's the whole problem is I never cared to begin with. And then this stuff just doesn't help me want to care. So
I think it's also the marketing.
Oh, sure. Yeah. That's part of it. Yeah. But then she opened her mouth and made everything worse. Yeah,
well, it's also a generic trailer. I mean, I was talking about this last night. I mean, it's just the constant dun, 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 dun. What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. I'm a hero. Dun, 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 dun. Punch, punch, punch. Dun, dun. And it's just, the same cliche type of trailer. So it doesn't seem interesting at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, they're just giving us the same beats we've all seen before.
Rookie, what is that line she says where it's like, I'm tired of you telling me what I can't do.
I don't actually remember the line. I don't remember her words. I don't know.
But they were smart, whatever they were.
I don't hate white dudes. I don't hate them. Remember, she kept saying that.
That's the way she says everything. Yeah, when you have to cock your head and finger wag and roll your eyes. I don't hate
white dudes. Don't talk for me. She keeps saying
that. Say that she doesn't like white dudes. We all know she hates white dudes. Am I right?
It's all in the way she says it. It doesn't care. I don't care about the actual words. I know what you're actually saying. You shouldn't have to roll your eyes when you say you don't hate white dudes.
And we're called men, not dudes.
Well, it's just like how we knew what Mark Hamill was saying when he was talking about The Last Jedi. He made it very abundantly clear. And even when he backtracked, we understood he'd given us enough context for what he actually meant. Same goes for Brie Larson here. You've given us plenty of context, honey bunny. You can try to take and walk it back a little bit now, but we know what you mean. We saw what you were doing over there.
Yeah. One of you guys just made a good point because I saw something this morning. She said, I don't hate white dudes, but then I saw a conversation where she says, I don't like to be called a girl. I'm a woman.
Right.
That just clicked in my head. Like she's being hypocritical right there when she calls white men white dudes, but she doesn't like to be called a girl. She likes to be called a woman. I saw that actually on that Star Wars girl video early this morning, and I'm like, well, where does her sense come from? Where's her knowledge come from? Because she's not making any sense if she's being hypocritical to herself. She can say one thing about one group of people, but when it comes to her, you have to respect her. Like, what the hell are you?
It's narcissistic, yeah, for sure.
It's that Hollywood logic.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask Ruth actually next about if you're going to go see Captain Marvel and what you think so far. But
honestly, when it comes to, I appreciate reviews, but I want to base the movie on myself, the actual story of what how she's going to connect to Endgame. I'm going to put her opinion to the side, and I want to see if her opinion does come into the story as how she's going to relate to this character. That's what I want to do. I want to give the movie an opportunity to let me see if her actual character of personality is going to come into the character of her playing Captain Marvel. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea, except for it's kind of annoying how they'll attribute the box office to it being a success when you have to pay to go see it, and if you don't see it, they'll go, well, you didn't even see it, so you're just trying to be mad on purpose. Okay, I'll pay to go see it. Oh, I didn't like it. Well, it doesn't matter that you didn't like it because it made this much money, therefore it's good. And
but my point is, I can't have an opinion on a movie if I like it or not if I don't see it.
I know what you mean. I'm just saying that's the argument that they'll use, even though you're doing the right thing by seeing it and then giving your opinion, but then they'll use as an argument that it's good because of how much money it made, which you have to pay to see it to judge it.
Yeah, well, that's the downside. That's why The Last Jedi was so successful. They said because everybody wanted because we expected a good movie. I expected the Knights of Ren in that movie. I expected Rey. I thought she was going to be a clone, but he made a lot of money and the movie was successful. No, it wasn't. After everyone realized how shitty that movie was, yeah, I could look back and go, man, I wish I wouldn't have spent my money on that. But first impressions, you go on what you want to see, and we're getting it forward now with Captain Marvel. I mean, Captain Marvel, of how shitty her attitude is. It's affecting the movie, and it's really bad when it's affecting the movie now, and how the movie's going to relate to the actual end games. It's not fair to the other characters, in my opinion. I'm just saying
exactly
how she's being.
Yeah, but we
That's true.
Giving this movie our money. There are ways around this, people.
Well, I know I'm kind of beating a dead horse, but basically what was just said right now, what Ruth just said was basically, what I heard for The Last Jedi. They're like, no, actually, Rookie said this. I'm sorry, but Ruth expanded on this. Thing is, I remember there was this dude from high school that I wanted to. Yeah, I hated this guy so much because he was such a toupee douchebag. And then a few years later, I was actually fishing with my best friend right outside my house, and he basically stopped me and said, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm okay." And he said, "Did you watch The Last Jedi?" And I said, "Yeah, I thought it was awful." Because I was on the same page with my friend, and I thought that every human being with common sense had the same opinion, but I was naive, and I hadn't watched Geeks and Gamers back then, and I thought that there were still people that had the same common sense as me. Little did I know, and he came and said to me, "No, The Last Jedi was a masterpiece." I'm like, "How could it be a masterpiece?" "Well, the visual effects were good and the music was great." Yeah, I said, "Yeah, the dialogue was shitty and they disrespected Luke Skywalker's character." "Luke Skywalker's character didn't matter because he was from the original trilogy and the original trilogy were shit." And I said, "How were they shit?" "Well, the visual effects weren't the same." I said, "Well, if you take it this way, I was very, very, very bad. I'm really sorry, but I'm going to say this." I said, back in the 70s, some things weren't the same as they were right now when it comes to preferences, and still people have improved on that. And when I look back into the 70s, they think to themselves, what was I thinking? Now, if you guys know where I'm going with this, because I don't want to be nasty with you guys because you don't deserve to see my nasty side because you're great people. So he said, "How could you say that? That's offensive." I said, "Okay, so if you thought that I was offensive, here's a bottle of soy and my therapist's card, and you can actually go and cry your heart out." And he said, "But the movie was horrible because the original trilogy, because they had had shitty graphics." And I said, "They had what they could at the time, and it was still considered a masterpiece for 1977.
What kind of idiots do you hang around? My goodness.
That's what I'm thinking.
You see, that's the thing. I told you guys, to my naivete, I thought that there were people with common sense, and he said that, what? Hey, The Last Jedi was great because, the movie, the cinematography was great and stuff. I said, "Yeah, but the story was shit." And he said, "Who cares about Luke Skywalker?" I'm like, "I do, goddammit, I do. I used another word, a Samuel Jackson-esque word, and you all know what it was. If you've seen Pulp Fiction, you know what word I used, but I'm not going to use it here because I don't want to put any dirt on Rookie's content because this isn't my channel. If it was my stream, I wouldn't care." But basically, I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? So basically, if it looked good and it made a lot of money, is that what counts to you? I said, "Did you get any of that?" And he said, "No, I didn't, but, it was good." I said, "Yeah, that's the difference. I don't care how much money it made. It was terrible. I'm using my objectivity to understand that it was horrible." And I said that.
Hey, General Katarn, mind if I hop in a minute?
Hi, Jeff.
Yeah,
Hey,
sure thing. Sure thing. Sure thing. Because we do need Iron Wolf.
Let me say one thing, and you continue on your tirade. Common sense is no longer common and hasn't been common for about 30 years. Right.
Yeah.
It's a superpower. Common sense is a superpower today.
But what's going on, guys? I just kind of snuck in. Thanks, Rookie.
Hey, man. Yeah, no problem. I know you're waiting for a while. I sent you an invite like half an hour ago. And I was like, "Oh, he didn't come in yet? Is he on the can or something? Not noticing? Or on the truck?"
He was drinking toast from the skulls of SJW, so yeah, don't mess with Iron Wolf.
Talk about Captain Marvel.
All right, well, let me weigh in on Captain Marvel if y'all don't mind.
Go ahead.
this is just my personal opinion, just based off. I don't care about what she said, her activism, all that ballet of bullshit. I'm throwing that out the window for this. I am just going by what I have seen, what I know the character and the source material of, and the trailers. It just looks like Rookie say, generically boring. And from what little things I have seen from other people, everything about this movie is just boring.
Yeah, can't argue that.
That's the problem I have with the movie. It just looks plain boring. And if you guys know anything about me, when Brie Larson was first announced, I'm like, oh God, they have miscast this role so badly. And I stand to that, and I guarantee it, because if I do go see it, I'm not paying Marvel or the theater, because I bought that pack with a Cinema Blend, where I pay $20 and I can basically see 3 movies a week for the entire month. So if I get a Captain Marvel ticket, they ain't getting shit. I already paid the theater.
Good going,
so,
Wolf. Good going, Wolf.
But this is just going to be my general thoughts going in. And y'all might laugh. It's going to be WWKSD. That stands for, what would Katie Sackhoff do? That's probably going to be my mantra through the entire movie, because that's who I think should have gotten the role.
Agree 100%. She would have been great.
Yeah.
That's who Stan Lee wanted. Stan Lee wanted Katie Sackhoff from the beginning. He made that perfectly clear. Oh, yeah. He's quoted as saying it repeatedly. He wanted Katie Sackhoff for Captain Marvel.
That would be awesome.
Been perfect. Yeah, she would have been perfect.
Then how did they end up with Brie Larson?
Disney doesn't want to cast anybody who.
Huh?
Yeah.
They basically got wrong Morning Wood with acting wood, and basically they got Brie Larson because they have the same qualities. They're both lumber.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys know any, I don't know like completely about it. I mean, I've seen some of the comics she's been in. I remember her from the original Civil War when she was Miss Marvel, Carol Danvers. I've seen some of the comics when she is Captain Marvel, and I have to say, Marvel doesn't know what they're doing with this character. Whether in the comics or the movies, they have no fucking clue, part of my language. When it comes to this character, they have no clue. Zero.
There does seem to be a lack of consistency.
Do you realize Captain Marvel, since she was introduced, I think in like 2012, she has been rebooted 9 times.
Yeah, that's pretty consistent, actually.
She's on her 9th year now in the comics. And this is the character they're trying to make the flagship Marvel character over Spider-Man, who had been their flagship character for like 40 years.
Yeah, that stuff's ridiculous.
I'm speaking for myself. I didn't know who Iron Man was before the movie came out. I didn't know. The only one I knew of the Avengers was the Hulk. If I'm being perfectly candid.
Yeah, the movie was good. Well, I grew up on a lot of the cartoons, like the Spider-Man Fox cartoon, X-Men. I saw the Iron Man cartoon. I think it was on UPN or whatever network that was. I mean, I pretty much knew who all the Avengers were going into the movie series.
An Angus of color, you've been mighty quiet today.
His mic's muted.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, I'm here. I'm here, though.
Sorry,
yeah.
I was trying to catch up on what the newest Captain Wayman news was from comic artists, so I could have some more talking points. Perhaps there's an article. There's an article that he's reviewing by a man. Of course, it says, "Do female critics need a safe space?"
Oh my god!
I was thinking.
Ridiculous.
Sorry, I missed IronWolf's points or whatever, but I was thinking about this. How EVS said, like, "Oh, just think." If Captain Marvel, it's Captain Marvel challenge or something, she's like, hey, Captain Marvel fights cancer, female cancer or something, ovarian cancer, breast cancer. She has a plethora of female organs to fight cancer, But no, she's got to pad the box office to inflate the returns. And I was just thinking, if she's really against toxic masculinity and patriarchy and all this bullshit, how about she addresses, genital mutilation in Africa? oh wait, that's actually in our American view, minorities doing that, so that doesn't look good for her narrative. So yeah,
Or the fact in South Africa, Angus, the black community is about to steal by law every single white person's land and give it to black people and call that
Yeah, it's actually
free
happening.
and equitable.
How did this conversation get derailed to this moment?
God wills it.
So I asked what
God wills
Angus' opinion was.
My opinion of Captain Tomato, she can go fuck herself. There's already reports and rumors that what do you call it? The MCU cast, especially Scarlet Witch, are not happy. I just started randomly reading a 08 comic for X-Men, and the intro is House of M, which is actually a Scarlet Witch story, and that's where they like defined her powers finally. And holy shit, if they could do House of M as like maybe in her miniseries, whatever, Vision to tie in the X-Men into the movies, that would be amazing. And you wouldn't have to worry about origin stories for most people. Jesus, yeah, it's like holy crap. Scarlet Witch is kind of like, I don't like Elizabeth Olsen's portrayal, at least the first couple of times, because my mom worked at she worked in nursing homes her whole life, and so I saw people that weren't old but were like mentally deficient or retarded, to be blunt, wearing bike helmets and stuff, and they have these mannerisms that are very noticeable, especially to a kid. And that's how Scarlet Witch always looked to me, how she like articulates her hands or whatever, gesticulates for her powers before Infinity War, where it's just like, oh, I'm just posing, my hand, it looks flawless, as opposed to like, does she need medicine for like epilepsy? And so they built her up, and if they bring her back into Endgame, she's got the emotional stake with Vision's death before she dies. So yeah, I definitely understand that irritation. Like, you shoehorn in this Oscar-winning actress, supposedly for 7 movies for the series, to undercut everyone's development. Yeah, I can't wait. If they really push that, and then everyone just quits. And like, yeah, let's see you. You want this? Well, now you got it.
Yeah, that might happen. We got Entertainment Hacker, first time back, at least joining a big stream since he got kicked off of streaming. Man, welcome back, dude.
Yeah, what's up, Geoff? How you doing?
It's been a long time.
Hey, what's up?
Hello, Hacker.
It's like 1:30 a.m. here.
It's like Christmas in March.
What?
Pretty much. I don't know. Yeah, he's in Japan right now, so he's on completely different time things. Is it the 8th for you right now? Is it International Women's Day now for you?
I'm always in Japan, not just now. I'll be here forever. So. But,
when did you move out there?
It's a really long story.
I always make it sound like you're on a trip for the weekend.
It has nothing to do with Captain Marvel. It's a real long story.
Aww, you're a sweetie.
Tried to get away from it as long as possible 20 years ago. Now he lives in Japan.
Well, the thing is, they actually, Captain Marvel's coming out here on the 15th. But the thing is, Japanese people don't really know what woke is. They don't know what an SJW warrior is. They have no idea. You could just talk to a Japanese person, explain it. They don't know. So when Captain Marvel comes out, they're just going to look at it like, oh, it's some superhero movie with, some blonde chick. I guess maybe we'll see it, maybe not. And, I wish there was just a way for us to kind of raise some awareness, I mean, not us, you guys are far removed from Japan, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, Entertainment Hacker. I saw this video by a guy named Black Pigeon speaks about how Japanese culture either ignores or doesn't care about the SJW culture, and I'd rather it be like that and be that bastion for the simple fact of the anime they put out. They're like, if you're insulted by it, we don't care. Same thing with Nintendo or DOA 6 or the guy that does Tekken. It's like, oh, we're offended by Tekken, and the guy's like, so the hell what? I don't care.
Right. Okay.
It's like a breath of fresh air with Japan.
Here's the thing. They're not ignoring it. They just don't know what it is. They just don't understand what's going on, why we think there are politics in movies and things like that. From what I get from me talking to people, I don't know if the guy's in Japan or whatever, but when I talk to coworkers, my students who are 14, my wife, their friends over the last 4 freaking years. They just don't know what it is. They don't understand why I'm mad that Luke Skywalker threw his lightsaber away, or like why women are strong and things like that. They just don't really know. They just don't care so much. It's not like they ignore
and that's a
it.
great thing. I find that a great thing. Their ignorance is bliss, and those that do understand are like, don't freaking care. Shut up.
Well, it's not good because they'll go spend money on the shitty products.
All right, before we continue real quick, Ruth says she's got to get going in a minute.
Yeah.
So you want to wrap anything up, Ruth?
No, I just wanted to say I really appreciate all this, my first live stream, and for Jeremy's birthday. I have to go to therapy for my knee, but I really appreciate everybody being very nice to me on the stream and patient with me.
Oh yeah, sorry to get a chance to talk to you. I just got here, so.
No, it's fine. At least now I know how to get onto a live stream. It was horrible the first few times, but thank you.
Yeah,
no problem.
Fix that knee.
Not a problem.
Fix that knee so you can stand with a hurrow like Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Well, Ruthie, you did so well. Seriously, I got to get with you. I want to get you on one of my streams now that we've sort of broken you into this.
That's awesome. I would love to.
I want to get for Women's Day just me and a bunch of girls and just let the girls run wild and rip apart Women's Day. I think I might do a live stream like that and see if I can get as many girls as I know on the live stream and just let you all have fun just tearing this apart.
Girls Gone Wild.
Yes,
I would watch that.
I'm down.
My goal is to have a lot of the moderators on here. Have Laura, Stephanie, Caitlin, everybody. But everybody's working or doing something today, and I'm like, darn it.
Yeah, but
Good
it's
luck.
like 8 o'clock.
I should do that.
Over here.
Wolf's
It's really
Girls
early.
Gone Wild on Women's Day.
Well, thank you guys. I gotta go, but I really appreciate it.
Nice talking to you, Ruth.
And
Thanks for
I'll
being
see
here,
you
Ruth.
guys again. Okay,
Get better.
bye.
See you.
Bye, Ruthie.
Bye.
See you, Ruthie.
Hey, I'm gonna get going too, guys. Disney hit us with a copyright hit, and I can't play our new video in any country for some reason. So I've got to go.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, it happened to me again last time.
Yeah.
That's such bullshit.
Yeah.
Just
What did they hit you
disputed.
on?
I've gotten somewhere
Just
like
disputed.
say I won't play in one country or two country, but I've never had one blocked from the world. So I gotta go fix that part of the video, and it's gonna be late. So I gotta get going. I gotta work on that. But really
Sure thing,
Take it
man.
easy, man.
being part of this.
No problem, man. See you next time.
All right. Thanks so
Yeah.
much. Everybody have a good one.
Peace.
You too.
Bye.
Yeah, that makes me worried though, for the fact of I want to do this video where I break down the lightsaber duel at the end of Attack of the Clones and show Dooku, because he's always talked about, oh, he's this great Form 2 duelist, and it's like throughout most of his duels between the 3 people he fights, he's actually not even using Form 2, and now shit, Disney might copyright strike me just because I'm using that footage.
No, maybe it's possible.
Well, hold on. You mean a copyright strike or a copyright claim? There's a huge difference.
Oh yeah, there really is. I had a claim on one of my videos a while ago because I had Pirates of the Caribbean or Caribbean, however you want to pronounce it, and it was just the music, but they didn't say, oh, this is gonna get it was like demonetized, but it was not like.
Well, the thing is, if they copyright claim me enormously, I'm not even monetized to begin with, so I don't care.
Oh, I know that, but like a claim is just like, hey, there's some copyright material, so it's like whatever. It means nothing unless you're monetized. Then they demonetize it. But if it's a strike, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, I know.
Strike is just
because the thing
different.
is, like I don't even think I got a monetization. I don't even think I got a claim when I did that Gillette video breakdown about 3 days ago, because Gillette put out a new video.
That counts for advertisement. That's why they're not actually going to strike it. Basically, they're going to try and claim or strike something that they think that you could use, that you could make money off of without them being advertised in some way. So when you're basically dissing Gillette, and I've been talking to my dad who's been in these kind of businesses for years, he said basically when you're giving a critique to a company openly, it's advertisement for them, and it works either way, so they're going to let it. But when you're basically using like a clip or using something that is copyrighted to make something that basically helps your own narrative or your own video or something, they're going to claim that and strike that because basically it doesn't advertise them as much as it does yourself.
Yeah, because the thing is, like I said, I was basically going to use use, like the last, like that 5 minutes of lightsaber dueling, and I was just gonna break down the different moves, forms, stuff like that. And I'm just like, hearing all that, I'm like, do I really want to do that? But on the other hand, if they copyright claim it, oh well, I'm not like I'm monetized anyways.
Yeah, I think they'll just claim it, man.
It's like, so what if you claim it? I wasn't monetized to begin with, so you're getting nothing out of nothing.
Yeah, my videos get claimed sometimes too, but they don't really do anything. They're just like, oh, it belongs to us. Like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, you dispute that. You say you're using... Do it for a fair use. John actually said this. Sorry for interrupting, but you told me basically you said if it's fair use, you can actually see that in your dispute and you're good to go. And it actually helped. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, I think I probably will put that disclaimer on that video. So I'm planning to do it this weekend.
Put it in the description and before the video. It works. It's helped me in the past. I got 2 claims in the past few months, and then after a few videos where I did use supposed copyrighted stuff, they never actually bothered me again. So just go for that.
That's one thing I do like about U.S. law is we actually do have fair use, though Europe is trying to completely shit can it with directives 11 and 13. That is true. I'm sorry. We've kind of shunned out John because I think that he's been trying to say something, and I was kind of rude for interrupting him. John, please go ahead.
That's cool. No, I'm just chilling. What I was gonna say is if you're not monetized, then all it does is block views in certain countries, and usually it doesn't block them. I've got like probably 20 copyright claims up there, and it doesn't actually do anything.
Yeah, I agree. So, sometimes they might pull it out and do it, but yeah.
Just ignore it, man, because if you're gonna make videos, you gotta really pump out content if you want your channel to grow. You can't make editing for 4 days and throw up 1 video a week. You're just gonna go really slow at that point. So you might as well just throw it up there and just move on to the next one.
Are you approaching 1,000 subs, Entertainment Hacker?
Yeah, I'm on 855. It goes in waves, man. I'll get 20 in a day, then I'll get 2 for the week. So
and you lose 5 and then gain 2 and then lose 2 and then gain 10 and it's I know.
I'm actually pushing 200 right now. I got up to 186. I'm like, holy shit, I'm closing on 2.
Everybody sub to Geoff TheIronWolf. He does awesome videos in his truck and lays it down how it is. And give him a nice howl, man.
But,
that's the wolf. Follow the wolf.
But all I'm saying is you can't sit there and think for a couple days about a video. Then you got to just throw stuff up and keep moving until you're up at or you're just not going to go anywhere. Some of my friends make videos. It takes them 4 days. They edit. They're like, it's awesome, man. It's going to come out. And, it gets 75 views. So
yeah, Hacker, for example, I did this video of my, top favorite Star Trek ships. I think I edited it in 20 minutes and threw it up, and someone said, dude, this is great editing. It's like, dude, I did this in 20 minutes. I recorded it in 30. I spent all of an hour working on it.
Yeah, and it's also kind of aggravating, there's a video that you work on for days and you think about the concept, you write out a script and all that fun stuff.
It's usually a waste of time.
Yeah, but the videos that I spent less than 2 minutes, filming and then no editing, and then just throwing it up there gets over 1,000 views. I'm like, what the hell? I'm not complaining. I'm just like, what? What?
Yeah. It's got to be.
Well, the thing is, Jeremy, I've also found out is a lot of people are now getting turned on to the honest, quick video blogs of, hey, this is my opinion, take it or leave it.
Yeah, that's true. Probably was a trend that was not. It didn't start with Jeremy, but it did kind of blow up because of that. People started to follow along and just, not copy it, but do you guys think that people are just copying that formula and trying to replicate the success, or?
No, the thing is, people are noticing that people who are genuine and just say what they think, whether they have complete data or not. Look, these are my feelings. I'm just going to spit it out there for you. It tends to resonate more than, the whole scripted having a character. Hell, Jeremy Griggs himself said, I was trying to play it safe. I was trying to be nice and all that. And I finally just flipped the switch and said, screw it. I'm going to do it my way. Consequences be damned. And Geeks and Gamers exploded. Because you have to remember, Jeremy had been trying to that point for 6 or 7 years to get Geeks and Gamers off the ground.
Well, that's not really the only reason. Geeks and Gamers has really good branding. They look like a real it's like a real company and a real name. And people, when they watch the videos, latch on. That's not all about the honesty. The honesty is like part of it, but like there's a lot of things going for the channel. It was like why it exploded pretty much.
Yeah.
But, you know,
I mean, there was already a foundation there, and he already had some experience.
Here's the thing.
but the final ingredient was him just throwing caution to the wind and just speaking his mind and letting the chips fall where they lay. Well, that resonated.
Yeah, absolutely. That was part of it. I mean, there's just all different people who subscribe for all different reasons, you know. So Geeks and Gamers has every element going for it. There's not just like one reason, but I guess that.
I totally agree. But like, hell, Jeremy at one point wanted to get off Star Wars and to do that, and lots of people responded. And he even admitted, I think, in a live stream, it's like, I go where the clicks are, I go where the money is. He is upfront about it. I mean, that's the one thing people like is his total blunt honesty. It's like, look, I could, do videos that I want to do and people aren't going to really respond. I do what you are going to respond to do, and if it's Star Wars videos or Captain Marvel videos, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, that helped my attitude too, because people say, "Hey, dude, you're just making that video for views." I'm like, "Yeah, I am. That's why I'm making." Videos
I actually heard that.
That's the whole point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you get views. Otherwise, what are you doing?
I was going to say, Sean just dipped out. I was going to have him say something before he goes, but he just dipped out anyway. That's all good.
I got accused for that. I got accused for that like 2 weeks ago. There was this commenter after the whole controversy with another YouTuber that had a lot of crap to talk about the Fandom Collective and us being associated with War Campaign. I do not want to expand on this because we've got a very nice climate going on. But basically, this guy came onto my channel and he had a lot of things to say about me, Flipp, and Angus. And he said basically that you do not break more than 50 views and your channel sucks. And I said, if you had actually checked my channel content, I do have some think pieces where I do put a lot of effort, and I do get the views, and I do break the 50 views that you're talking about. And then he basically goes into all chill NPC defensive mode, and he's like, yeah, it's not about the views. It's about, being honest on YouTube, and basically you're on it for content and, for making views and for subs. And I said, you're basically accusing me for going to Kentucky Fried Chicken, and instead of reading the book, they're going to eat. So, yeah, of course YouTube is...
Doing YouTube the way that it's supposed to be done to have people click on your video? Oh,
yeah,
no.
I mean, still to this day, which is I find one of the most ironic things when I did my short time coverage of the Yellow Vest revolts that were happening in Paris. My first Yellow Vest video got almost 400 views, and I'm like, this was a cheap 10-minute video that took me 10 minutes to record while I was driving and upload, and it got like almost 400 views, and I'm like, holy crap!
Well,
what?
Hold on. Can I cut in here for a second, because I kind of study YouTube analytics every day, and here's the thing, views now got changed in July. How videos get views, okay? Because you guys remember they used to have those shitty trailers a couple of years ago that were fake official trailers, and they had that music that psyched you out, and they used to get hundreds of thousands of views.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so YouTube saw this, and they're like, we got to stop this bullshit. So what they did is views now go by watch time. So if your videos aren't getting watch time, they're not going to get viewed. They're not going to get recommended. They're going to get pushed to the very bottom. Okay?
Yeah, I noticed in the analytics, there was one time because the attention rate was on one of my videos was 16 seconds of 2 minutes. Well, because they thought it was because it was kind of misleading and everything. Right. But I noticed that to add to your point, after a while, when it was reaching 1,000, it started taking away views. So it was dropping back.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. When a bigger channel puts out a similar quality video than one of us do, the thing is they have a couple of thousand subs already giving it watch time off the bat, and it just skyrockets.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if we're honest, if our thumbnail's good, any of that bullshit. What matters is how many people give it watch time when the video gets released. That's the main thing. That's why it's hard for small channels to get bigger. And you sit here in circles is it the thumbnail? Is it me? What am I saying? It's none of that. It's all about how many people are watching a video, and that's why you got to slowly build it up.
That is so true. Actually, John, sorry. This is John's advice he gave me. The other day, I was discussing to him, and I said, I'm contemplating of uploading a video, and he basically said that, the title on the thumbnail and basically on the title of your video needs to be very compelling. So I just came up with some titles that I would usually do, and I'm not selling myself short, but when I bounced them off of John, because we're talking and we generally talk occasionally, and he basically said that you need to come up with a title that is going to be compelling to an audience. And I basically tried that out with my Leia video, which was like a few weeks back, and it actually really worked. He was right. And basically, you know what? I told him that.
We have to think about it. We're almost like pseudo journalists, and what do journalism do? They have to have attention-grabbing titles if they want people to read it.
Yeah, and that's kind of the fault in actual journalism now, because now you have a bunch of titles that I read an article not too long ago that just had nothing to do with anything the title was saying. It was like a Captain Marvel Brie Larson kind of fluff piece. So it's just like, this is just literally, it's just sucking up to Disney and Brie Larson and Captain Marvel. But it had nothing to do with any of Brie Larson's comments. You had to click on the video. It's just like, you didn't even transcribe the video, which is what you're supposed to do, because people read.
Did you guys ever see when you watch like a YouTube video, it's got subtitles now and it's got like kind of a GIF type format?
Yeah,
I've seen some of that.
Here's the thing: you don't put those subtitles in. YouTube does, right? Here's the thing: if what you say in your video matches some of those subtitles, if the title of the video matches some of those subtitles, then YouTube recognizes that and it knows you're not like putting like clickbait things. Like if I title a video like Captain Marvel invades my son's nursery school or something, and I say that.
That's a good title. I would click on that.
If I say that in the video and that matches the title and the subtitles YouTube creates, it picks up on that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
There's a lot of little
write
things
this down.
that you have to. There's a lot of little things you could take note of that'll get you like some extra views.
I never noticed that. That's you.
Well,
all right, guys. Well, I gotta bounce out, so I will catch you all later.
All right, later, Wolfie.
Yeah. Nice talking to you, Wolf.
Later.
Hey, Wolf.
Later, bro.
Well, I say that I say that because I was out picking my son up from school and they had a Captain Marvel flyer at his nursery school.
Did they really? Wow.
Yeah.
It's invading the nursery school, yeah.
It wasn't.
So that's a real video now.
It wasn't only Captain Marvel, but Captain Marvel was on it. And I talked to teachers. I'm like, don't just tell people like this. Bree said all this stuff, and I kind of talked to a teacher about it because. Like I said, they don't know. They just think it's some, new superhero. Maybe they'll see it. Maybe they won't. You know
what? Maybe it's for the best. They don't know about that stuff. I mean, it's not necessary. Maybe.
I think it's terrible they don't know about it because then they can't make a clear decision whether they want to see the movie or not. If they knew about it, they might not see it.
Okay, but I mean, they're gonna see it whether or not, I don't know.
If they knew Brie Larson was saying racist things in the American media, they might not see it. You see what I'm saying?
It actually makes sense.
So just as far as money, maybe for them it's good. They could go in ignorant and enjoy it more than we can, but it's not good for, us wanting them not to make profits.
Well, I don't think that they're that dumb. I mean, if they actually see SJW points in there, like you've said in your blogs, and I've actually watched them, it's not only that it doesn't exist there, but I believe that the reason it doesn't exist is because that their culture, forgive me if I'm wrong, it's not pandered to take up on SJW culture like in Japan.
Well, it's not necessarily that. It's that SJWs fundamentally want to change the past. They look at the past in America and they say, this is wrong. We want to rewrite history. There's no history to rewrite in Japan. It's like you see in Galaxy of Adventures with, Leia slamming Luke and Chewie and things. They want to rewrite that history. And in Japan, there's nothing to rewrite. They can't come here. They came here and tried to fix that. They tried to fix anime. Anime chicks have kind of very sexy clothes and things on. And, Japanese are just like, well, that's how we draw it. So what? That's the end of it.
Yeah, that's why I admire Japanese culture, because basically what they have is what they've got. And I believe that it's not only that they can change history. Again, forgive me if I'm wrong, but from what you're telling me, I take from this that they will not change history, and they can't, because Japanese are like, hey, this is our culture. We're into this and that. This is how we do things. If you like it, that's okay. You're welcome. You can actually check it up. And if you don't like it, then that's your problem. And today, things like in the Americas or Europe and Greece specifically, because I'm talking about Greece because that's what I see. And if you cannot pander to that demographic, now they start changing their entire narrative and their mentality in order to fit in people so that they can actually get the necessary publicity and views so that they can actually be able to push forward their narrative. I know for a fact that Japanese are not like that. And that is one of the things. My father has traveled all over the world, and he said that if he had to settle into another country right now, he said a few of the countries would be Africa, where he is right now in Namibia, Greece, and he said Japan. And he's been all over the place. And I'm not like advocating for my dad, but I kind of understand what you're saying right now. That they're the most simple people, they're most respectable people. And they're basically, very simple in the fact that, it's easy to get along with them. He said, if you have common sense, that's why they have the biggest, market in the world when it comes to cars and machinery, because a Japanese engineer has a very simple way of thinking. And it's something that's easy to pick up on, because my dad was a mechanic. And he said that this mentality applies throughout their whole life. And it's something that when you say these things in your vlogs and when you say right now, I can actually find a correlation between what you have said and my dad has said. And I find it to be very believable. And I think that it's wonderful that you found yourself in a country which basically is very original even to this day. Originality is in danger.
Yeah, I suppose you could say that. I mean, the thing is this, like when I was younger, I was like, well, if everybody was the same, then the world would be boring. And now I'm thinking, like, if everyone was the same, what would happen? What if we tried it? What would the world be like? What, how valuable is being boring as opposed to like cutting down on fights and racism and whatever.
Yeah,
and if everybody was the same, man, I'm thinking if everybody was me, that would be, oh God.
I don't mean like
every Jeremy's different.
Yeah.
I don't mean robots. I don't mean robots. I just mean like a little more similar, like Asian people.
The similar attributes.
Just like similar facial features, similar, everything. But then they just get along better. I just see monocultures in Asia getting along better and more peaceful than over there in the West, where they've got all these groups and fighting, and it's
divisiveness.
Yeah, it's supposed to be ridiculous. But it's supposed to be like a melting pot. But then everyone gets all defensive about their part of the pot, and it's kind of like, what are you guys doing? It's just the whole, and I guess that goes along with the phrase cultural appropriation, which I think is the most not benign. What's the right word?
Hypocritical word?
No. I think it's the most bullshit issue, non-issue. It's just so stupid. Like, why can't we celebrate all cultures? It doesn't matter your race. Why is this? Why is there a need for segregation again? Like, I don't understand this, or separation.
Everybody wants it. Everyone wants attention. It's just the same thing. Everyone wants their own attention. So
and
nobody wants to go in and.
I'll tell you why, Proper, because not all cultures are equal.
That is true. That is so true. That is so very true. You see, when I came here in Namibia, basically, there was a story when white man came here from Belgium and Holland and Germany and stuff. They basically tried to do this cultural appropriation explanation to the black tribes here. And they didn't understand that. They were very happy with the way they were living. They're like, oh, you can't live in these huts. You'll get cold in the winter. And then the black man here said, we don't have snow here. We don't have European winter. We don't know what even snow is. And basically what was going on is with this cultural appropriation, what happens is one group of people, them being SJWs today, they're trying to apply their own logic and culture to every single group, and no group can be the same. Blacks are different, brown people are different, Asians are different, Caucasians are different, Mediterraneans are different, and that's what's basically killing diversity today. And diversity doesn't mean that it has to be inclusive. You can find diversity in Africa go back to Europe or the Americas and leave it as it is. Diversity exists. You don't have to like celebrate it for existing. It's nothing big. Okay, just let it be, you know? And this came from the same tribes. The grandfathers and the elders of the tribes today that I've met here today, they basically said that, you know what? White people didn't actually come to unite us. They divided us because they actually tried to upgrade us according to their standards. And we did not fit those standards. I mean, I don't need wood for the winter. He said, I don't know what snow is. And I said, how do you know about snow? I mean, he said, you know, a long time ago, these German guys, they came here and they said, you need to pack up wood because of the snow, because of the winter, because it's March. And here in Africa, March is basically, you know, like summer, like fall. It's not the same. And they were basically applying their same principles in Europe, and they felt that the whole world was going to be the same. And cultural appropriation is basically the biggest actually the stealthiest killer today of diversity. Culture appropriation. You cannot apply the same thing everywhere. And that is something that Japan is true to itself. They will not try to diversify their culture to appeal to Americans or Europeans or other Asians or other cultures to the world. They're going to be like, hey, you know what? This is what I have. This is what I do. If you like it, that's okay. If you don't like it, that's...
Well, there are certain things Japanese people do to conform to the rest of the world, but they're not going to change their culture for it. You know, but they will conform to certain things.
Yeah, you're right, but there's a big difference. I mean, like, I don't know if you've heard of this, of the, I was seeing this video the other day, a Pokemon video, basically, on Jinx, the Pokemon. I don't know if you guys know about this, but basically, Jinx was based off the Japanese stereotype they basically had for black people. I don't know what was Ganguro girls. You probably know of this, John.
What's that?
Ganguro girls.
No, I don't know.
Basically, Ganguro girls, I don't want to come off as wrong, but basically like maybe 10 or 20 years ago, they had this trend where they would actually paint their skins in a darker color.
No, I don't know everything about, like, every detail about, you know.
Oh, okay. No, it's
I don't really know.
Yeah, it's plausible. It's understandable. I don't even know everything about my own culture, you know. So yeah, it makes sense. But the thing is, not the Japanese, your culture, but it's understandable. But I read this other time, you know, in this, I don't know if you've guys seen the game theorists or the film theorists.
Where are you going with this? I'm really confused how this got derailed.
What I'm going
I'm
with.
sorry.
Hold on. Actually, we're gonna wrap it up real soon because
I gotta go too.
And
I gotta get going as well. This is a fun time. Thank you for allowing me to be on, Rookie. This is awesome. And happy birthday to Jeremy.
Yep, happy birthday, Jeremy.
Yep. Thank you so much. I gotta bounce. I gotta get ready for work. Thanks again, and take it easy and God bless.
All right, later,
same
man.
for me, Geoff. Thanks for letting me jump in spur of the moment.
Yep, it's all good. We gotta stream sometime soon, John.
It's tough for me.
Been trying to get them for a while.
It's tough for me.
I'll try to get you sometime, maybe in the week, because you said that weekends don't work for you, but we'll try and get something for you. Next week I'm in Greece, which means that I will be able to operate around the clock.
I can never plan on it. It's always going to have to usually be spur of the moment. So I can never make
sure.
Anyway, I got to go, but thank you so much, Geoff, and keep in touch.
All right, no problem, man. See you around.
See you, bro.
Midnight Setch After Dark says, where's the beer and hookers?
Hookers and blood.
It's too early for all that. But yeah, so we're down to the last couple people. So why don't Angus, you want to say any last words, anything? Yeah, wind down.
Just before you die.
In my opinion, I support the sentiment of the Alita challenge, but I do not support Alita. I think it is garbage tier. Well, not really garbage tier, but it is a 5 out of 10. I think it is overhyped because it is fortunately an available Whammon film during the time of Captain Marvel. I saw it once, never want to see it again, never want to read the manga. I did see How to Train Your Dragon 3. Not as good as 2, but the send-off for the series, if they don't come back, it made me cry. I'm man enough to say it. I'm in tune with my emotions, especially being a daddy. When I see daddy scenes in a movie that are well done, it hits me because it brings me back to little boy and a little girl, especially their birth. And I like when films can do that because I think we're so worried about like blockbusters. We don't worry about, what film should be doing, evoking emotion. So I say, if you don't want to see some cyborg rollerblade movie for 2 hours, go see How to Train Your Dragon, especially if you got kids. If you want to boycott Captain Marvel or pay for it and help the competition against Disney that is not folding like Fox Company is, or I forgot that this came out, but there's this wrestling movie. What is it? The Fight for Family or whatever. I don't know. It's got The Rock in it. This looks like a strong whammon without selling me on the whole whammon thing. So I'm going to go see that today at 3 and let you know how it is.
All right. Well, that's a good plan, man. I'm not going to go see How to Train My Dragon. Sorry, I haven't seen the first one, second one, or third one.
Ah, you savage.
Another trilogy I've not seen quite yet. But Mary, why don't you go?
Yeah, so the plan is, I actually just sent a DM to Black Angus showing him my Captain Marvel ticket, so I'm sure he'll get a kick out of what I purchased. It goes
That's
very
slang for nudes. That's slang for nudes.
No, it's actually
I'm
not,
sorry,
but,
I'm just messing with you guys.
No, I sent him the picture of my ticket that I purchased for tomorrow. And so I am going to be seeing Captain Marvel because I purchased a ticket to see a movie tomorrow. So when I get done seeing Captain Marvel tomorrow, I will make sure I get a review up probably on Saturday for everyone, since I'm a whammon and I'm allowed to go see it. And I'm thoroughly prepared to rip this
Please, because we can't go. We can't go. I mean, Rookie can't, but Angus and I, we can. So yeah, I'll have a review next week.
We'll have your shelter ready for you, Mary, when you come back from the film.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go like just crawl over in a corner and rock myself to sleep, I'm sure. So I'm looking forward to giving her a piece of her own medicine, or a dose of her own medicine. She likes ripping people apart. Well, since I'm allowed, maybe I'll just use that whammon card for good.
That's good. That's the best time to use it. General Katarn, go ahead.
General Katarn. Okay. I want to thank the Rookie Critic for giving me the opportunity on being on a stream with him and a very diverse panel. Wink, wink, Angus. So basically, I wanted to say thank you to everyone on this panel for exchanging ideas and opinions, although they can get pretty radical. But I know that you guys are very cool and open-minded, and you're not dumb SJWs that I can safely bounce some ideas and opinions on. I'm General Katarn. I talk about Star Wars. I make lightsabers. I'm in the process of making a lightsaber right now, a new one. I got the new parts. I posted a video this morning, and basically I'm very excited, and I will show you guys the end results. That's basically all I have to say. I don't have any opinion on Captain Marvel or Alita Battle Angel yet because I haven't been in the theater forever. But next week, I'll have my own opinion on Captain Marvel because I do intend on seeing it because a friend said he's buying tickets because otherwise, yeah. So that's me.
Oh, I know the feeling right there, man. Yeah, I'll watch your lightsaber video after this. But yeah, so tomorrow, instead of seeing Captain Marvel, 1, I got to work tomorrow night. 2, I might have a stream with somebody tomorrow morning, like around, kind of early morning, early afternoon for you guys, and gonna watch some manly movies instead of Captain Marvel. So.
Hashtag watch Godfather.
No, probably won't. I'll probably just watch like 300 or something.
Okay, that's manly enough, yeah.
Yeah, but I have seen that before, at least 300. But yeah, so that is about it. We're going for like 2.5 hours now. We had from 2 to 10 people in the panel, so nice full room and whatnot. Thanks for stopping by, everybody in the chat. The Pop Culture PB, Darth Gavel, Midnight's Edge After Dark, the Ancient One, the Real Jack Sparrow, Hallmark Channel Jeremy, those 2 bald guys, Cybernetic Husky, and those are the last ones here for a little while. There's quite a few other people here in the chat, some new ones, some noobs. That is good. Yeah, that is it for today. This was a Geeks and Gamers birthday little stream, and have a good one, guys.